Hey everyone, Brian from Three Geeky Dads here. Before we begin tonight's episode, I just want everyone to know that we are now sponsored by Audible. As an IT professional for a school department, I find myself behind the wheel of my car traveling between schools almost all day long, and that's where Audible comes in. Right now, I'm enjoying listening to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry. It's so enjoyable to hear this hilarious audiobook read by a proper British comic actor. And that's just scratching the surface. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word content, with everything from bestsellers, celebrity memoirs, and news to podcasts. Yes, if you're into podcasts, and you're listening to us right now, so we can assume you do, Audible has got you covered. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial today. That's www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial. You'll get 1 credit, 2 credits if you're already an Amazon Prime member. That's good for any premium selection titles you like, and they're yours to keep. You also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals. Listen all you want. No credits needed. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/3GD. $14.95 a month after your 30-day trial. Cancel at any time. Audible. Stay informed, connected, and inspired. And now, on with the show.
Warning, incoming dad joke. Warning, incoming dad joke.
Hey guys, who's Scooby-Doo's favorite X-Man?
I give up. Who?
Ororo.
Which one's that?
Storm.
It's a talking.
Ororo.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
It was like a pink nightmare.
Christmas has a Yule log. Not a log, I don't have a log, but it's...
All that I have, all that I've learned, everything I feel, all this and more I bequeath you, my son.
Your father was Frankenstein, and your mother was the lightning.
We named the dog Indiana.
I am your father.
Yeah, it's the face that you made while doing that that we are denying our listeners.
I know.
That's half the humor. But good job, man. Keep them coming.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Hello and welcome to another thrilling episode of Three Geeky Dads, the show brought to you by New Orlando Bloom Jewelry. He's Lord of the Bling. Yeah,
Yes.
I am Mark, and with me as always are the two and me to my X-Men.
Derek.
And Brian.
And joining us as always to say screw you to math and the title to our show, his name is Tito. Remember it.
Oh.
Yeah, see this? Yeah. I put effort into this one. Tonight, the dads are jumping in the Wayback Machine to 1997, all while staying in 2024. How is it possible, you ask?
Science!
That's just good science. That, and we are talking about Season 1 of X-Men 97, the hit animated series from Marvel that brings back all the 90s action and adventure of the most famous mutant team of heroes, squaring off against the most sinister of villains. Sinister being a key factor in this season as well. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, you get that.
I get
huh?
it.
Yeah.
Ororo.
It's wordplay. It's wordplay. X-Men puns for Tito.
Rhymes.
But before we command the elements, charge up our playing cards, and unleash those adamantium claws, our own mutant of meals on Xavier's wheels, Brian, has prepared a yummy appetizer to start us off.
Let's hit this fair, because you know what I want to do?
Eat hot food in 100-degree weather?
No, get my picture taken. I've never done it before.
That's horseshit.
No, it's the truth.
No, that's horseshit.
Whoa, oh, that is horseshit. Oh.
Brian?
Hey, thank you, Mark.
Hey, you're welcome, Brian.
Tonight, as Mark mentioned, we will be taking a look at X-Men 97. The animated series from Disney Plus is a direct continuation of the popular Saturday morning animated series that ran from 1992 to 1997 on Saturday mornings on Fox. That being said, our appetizer this week, we thought this would be a great opportunity to take a look at some of our favorite animated shows we'd like to see make a comeback.
Very nice. Who is starting?
I think you.
No, I started last week, right? Because I was going to read Tito's answers. But
I thought it was you, Derek.
Oh, is it
I
me?
think
All
it's
right.
you this week,
All
Derek.
right, I'll start.
Every week somebody is gone. The episode starts off like we're doing a meme of Spider-Man pointing at each other.
How dare you point at me? You were pointing first. Rude to point.
You're being very rude. You're not even. You're pointing at me right now as you say that.
You're
Look
pointing.
at you.
I'm
Look
just
at your
pointing at
finger.
your pointing.
Look at your
which
finger
is
right
different
now.
than
What is it
normal
doing?
pointing.
You are pointing.
You
at
haven't
me.
seen
You're
pointing
accusing
until I
me
get
of
through.
pointing.
I'm going to go with Gargoyles.
Nice.
Also, around that same time, I believe maybe even on Fox. Was that Fox Kids? I think
It was a
I
Fox
think it
show.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
It was
think you're right.
afternoon, like at
Yeah.
3 p.m.,
Yep.
3:30.
Getting
Yep,
home
yep.
from school, popping in front. I love the lore that it created with the Gargoyles themselves, all the Shakespearean related stuff in season 2. I'd love to see what they could do, bringing them back and relating to today's way of life.
Yeah,
You know,
I love that show.
It was awesome.
They had like all that stuff like like Avalon and
Right,
King
Megas
Arthur
and-
yes.
Yep.
And then Oberon is in all those.
Yeah,
all
Oberon
those,
and Link.
Puck is a character
Puck.
in it.
Yep.
Titania, you got
Right.
Macbeth,
and
is
all
a
the stuff
character.
with Demona and the fact that it was half the cast was Star Trek: The Next Generation people.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
Riker's
Right,
Yeah,
Riker was
Jonathan
the bad guy.
Frakes. Yeah, he was
Worf
the
is somebody.
Yep.
Desdemona was Troy.
Was Troy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I don't know any of them.
and
Yep,
was it,
Marina Sirtis.
Keith
Right.
David was the lead. I can't.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Goliath.
Goliath.
Goliath,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I see. I never watched this show.
Oh, it was
I
awesome.
should.
It was
I
awesome.
never did.
Great.
And
Yeah, you didn't watch
Goliath and Demona were the only ones that had regular names, and then the rest of the crew had it was Bronx and Brooklyn and Hudson.
Yeah.
They were all like New York related names because that's
Yeah.
where they were. But it was so cool, that that they're from a Scottish castle that got piece by piece removed and shipped to New York.
Yeah.
And this guy
To beat magic,
Right.
which is very cool,
Right.
in the modern world, right?
exactly.
The only
So-
way they would come back to life is if they were above the clouds or something. So it stacks them on top of a skyscraper.
That's on
and they
Disney
wake up.
Plus right now, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, you're right.
So check
Give it a
out.
go.
Yep. I am going to pick Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon from Saturday mornings. I believe it aired on CBS Saturday mornings
choice.
back in 1984 or 1985. I was just going to look it up because I forgot the exact year, but I'm going with that. It was a fantastic cartoon. It only lasted one season, and I really wish they had done more of it. And I would love to see them bring it back, especially with the popularity of last year's Chris Pine.
Right,
led
they had a
Dungeons
little
and Dragons
cameo in that movie,
The
so-
characters actually, if you look
Yeah.
in the background, the characters were actually part of the running the maze
Yep.
at the end. And it was great. It was a great little Easter egg for those of us
Yeah.
who enjoyed the cartoon back then. And I really think they should bring it back in some form or other.
Who animated that one?
I don't remember who animated it. Let me just look it up really
'Cause I don't
quick.
think it was Hanna-Barbera, but
No, it
I don't
wasn't.
think so either.
No, it was like Saban. So is that too?
No, I don't think it was.
Too new.
No.
Or Sebast. Am I thinking?
it wasn't Bleak, was it?
Deke.
Oh,
Deke Sebast.
oh, I remember that. Deke.
Oh, wow, it was 1983. All right, and it had the voice of Willie Ames from Eight Is Enough, and Charles in Charge. He was Hank the Ranger. Donnie Most from Happy Days. Peter Cullen did voices. He was Venger. Frank Welker. Speaking of Scooby Doo.
Oh, yeah.
Toei.
Is it Toei?
Toei animation.
Okay,
Oh, Marvel Productions, D&D Entertainment.
really?
It happened.
Yeah.
It was part of Marvel too, huh? So there you go. Disney must own this somewhere then. Somehow.
Right, somehow.
Bring it back.
It's in a vault.
Bring it back.
Yeah, I'm going with one of my favorite cartoons ever, Doug.
Doug Funny.
Doug Funny.
Absolutely
Oh,
love
I
it.
would love to see what Doug's up to.
Yeah, I would like to see old Doug, old Skeeter,
Yep.
Patty, the whole gang, Roger
Yep.
Klotz, Mr. Dink, rest in peace.
Quail
I
Man.
assume.
Dink.
I don't know, he's probably dead now, right? That was a long time ago. He's
Mr.
old.
Dink.
He was older then. He's probably dead now.
Pork Chop, right? Was the dog?
Yeah, he's definitely dead.
It's animated. Nobody dies in animation.
Yeah, dude.
One of
Santa's
my-
little helper's been
Pork-
living
Pork
for
Chop-
how many decades now?
Poor Chalk's looking like the dog on Family Guy with the no legs. Like crawls around. no teeth.
Answers to Lucky.
Very savvy though.
What's Doug been doing to that dog? You can't walk anymore. I don't like where this is going.
Life's been hard on Pork Chop. But I
been hard on
absolutely loved that
Yeah.
show growing up. It was so much fun. I love the whole Beatles, the Beats.
The Beats.
band.
Oh.
I love that shit. Doug, make it into a fucking new show.
Nice.
I bet it would be funny.
Yeah, haha.
Well, you know,
Skeeter.
guys, all the TV shows that I loved as a kid have come back and one way or another. Ninja
And you can get them in
Turtles,
color now.
He-Man, and I can get him. Are you implying I'm old?
The cartoon you used to enjoy will soon be back in style.
We need more episodes of Howdy Doody, kids. Bring back Clarabelle. Was it Clarabelle?
Yeah, Clarabelle the
that
clown.
couldn't talk? See, Brian knows.
The clown is full of secrets.
This clown is full of secrets. Let's rock.
I have no idea what that is. What is that?
That's Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Red Room.
Yeah.
The dancing
I don't
dwarf.
remember. I don't remember the Clarabelle thing.
It
Well,
wasn't.
the Clarabelle
no.
thing wasn't Twin Peaks.
No,
No,
I'm-
that's what I mean. I don't know. But that's what I was asking.
Howdy Doody. Clarabelle was the clown that couldn't talk. It was like he was like
But
Howdy Doody's friend.
I spun it because they said
Right.
the cartoons he likes is coming back in style, so it reminded me of the
Right.
Twin Peaks
Yeah.
one.
I just
the
I've
gum
never-
that you
I don't
chew
know.
will
I don't
soon
think
be
I
back
ever
in
saw
style.
any. I know who Howdy Doody is, but I don't think I ever
I
saw
actually,
it.
despite what Tito says, I'm not that old. I didn't see it.
I know you're not.
But I know the theme song. Yeah.
Well, it's time for Howdy Doody time.
It's Howdy Doody
time.
This has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Anyway, as
Go
I
ahead.
was saying, most of the stuff I watched as a kid has been brought back, except this show that I used to love, and I wish it would come back, Hanna-Barbera's World of Super Adventures, which was everything from the Herculoids to Space Ghost, not counting the talk show.
right.
I would love to see them bring back those awesome cartoons that I woke up
remember
to
those.
Sunday
Yeah.
morning, and you didn't know which cartoons you were going to get
Mm-hmm.
because there were just a plethora of cartoons to choose from.
Fun
It was a
Guard.
buffet of animated badness.
Yeah, I used to
I mean,
love the
badness is
Herculoids.
bad, like Michael Jackson's
Right,
bad. It's
Yeah.
good.
The Herculoids and
The
Johnny Quest.
Herculoids, Johnny Quest.
That was when Hanna-Barbera was
Oh
good.
man,
yeah.
there and they had the I can't even remember. I can't remember some of these names. But like the show with the genie, and it was like this super cool Black Adam looking genie on the show. And I'm sure somebody out there listening is telling me right now. But the one I remember more than anything was the Herculoids.
That was a great show.
I love that show. And I remember Space Ghost as well. And I know it's kind of a joke now because I'm a fan of that Coast to Coast talk show. But I'd like to see the superhero stuff come back.
Apache Chief, too,
Birdman.
right? Was
No,
Apache
that was
Chief
Super
Hanna-Barbera?
Friends.
Oh,
He was on Super Friends.
So
yeah,
Super
Black-
Friends was Hanna-Barbera, but
yeah.
wasn't part of that.
Our next
particular-
Chuck.
Yeah.
right.
What was it? Birdman was.
Birdman
Yeah,
was
Harvey
part of
Birdman.
that.
Harvey
Yep.
Birdman. Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
he was an attorney.
Before Adult Swim came and turned half of these
I know,
guys
right?
into
So
C-Lab.
So basically,
Right.
right. So they took C-Lab. They made C-Lab. They
Yep.
made the
Harvey Birdman.
Harvey Birdman
and
lawyer.
Space
Yeah.
Ghost.
And Space Ghost a talk show. So
Yeah.
what did the Herculoids do when they retired? Well, like we got to find out.
Yeah,
don't know.
That's
There's
the
still
thing.
time.
You gotta
I would love
write a
to see
spec
more of
script.
the Herculoids.
Write a spec.
Write a spec
yeah.
script.
But don't make it funny. I've had enough funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want
All
to
right,
cry.
You want serious.
I want to cry. I want
You want a
serious.
family- you want
Pretend
like a-
this is Pixar.
Right. I was just about to say, Pixar
Got my
Kill all
presents
the
heart.
moms.
the Herculoids.
Kill all their
I
moms.
want some. I want some Herculoid action, baby. Freaking dinosaur that shoots fire rocks
Yeah.
out of its horn.
Were
Yeah.
they on another planet or were they in prehistoric times? Right. That's the
I
one
think
I
it was
could never
both.
figure out. Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
Right.
whoop.
It was
Yeah.
prehistoric times on another planet.
It was a prehistoric planet.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's mine.
All right.
stuff.
Runners up. Anybody?
Of course, I mention it all the time. Gravedale High. I would love to see
Gravedale
that
High.
come back. Batman the Animated Series.
Well, that's coming
Yeah,
back.
I
in a
guess. Yeah.
sense,
That's Captain N. Do you remember
The
that?
Game Master?
The Game Master.
Mother Brain.
I would love to see like a modern day with
Yes.
modern, like
That
with
is a good one.
newer video game characters, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, and this is from left field. Gem and the Holograms.
Oh,
They did a movie that was, but
I saw that
it
movie.
right.
I didn't love it.
No.
wasn't
but
there.
I wanted to.
I wanted to
tried.
as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
I like Gem and the Hologram.
So I was
No
you know,
misfits until the
Truly,
very
Right,
end.
until the very end. It's like, fuck that shit.
outrageous.
Bullshit.
Whoa, Gem. Yeah, it was a
She's
good
truly
show.
You
outrageous.
had,
like
you
that
had,
show.
you had
truly
such
outrageous.
faith,
Yeah.
such faith in that project. You thought you
Gem
could
is
save
full of
the
secrets.
misfits until the end.
Right,
Okay.
Yeah,
exactly.
right. You thought there was
Like,
going to
you
be a
can't do
sequel.
that.
That's
You ha-
amazing.
There was
It should have
Yeah.
been right off the bat. It should have been like Josie and the Pussycats.
Right.
Like you just make it like the show.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Confident
try to
pricks.
make it like you
Yeah,
know.
Do you
little
remember when
robot.
they sent Josie and the Pussycats into outer space?
Yes, I do.
They all went into outer space at one point.
Yeah, that's-
Everything goes. to
Everybody
outer space.
does.
From Leprechaun to Josie.
It's
and
the cartoon version of jumping the shark.
That's what
Yeah,
I was
it's
just
going to space.
Did they jump a shark?
A space shark. Jabberjaw.
Jabberjaw. Jump to Jabberjaw. Part of that was he was
No, that was the 80s.
Hanna-Barbera's
Or late
World
70s.
of Super Adventure.
There was the buggy too.
Yeah.
The buggy.
Brian, you have
Oh,
any
Speed Buggy.
backups?
Speed Buggy.
Speed
yeah.
Buggy. That was a good one,
What
too.
the hell was I going to say?
Brian, does he have any backups?
Jem got it. Do you know Jem and the Holograms, they jumped not a shark, but killer whales. Gemma is visiting a SeaWorld or an aquarium-like resort and accidentally falls in, and the killer whales come at her.
I vaguely remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
I don't recall.
Killer whales when
Do you know Gem and the Holograms is the reason why I'm married?
Ah, boy, here we go.
But when I met
Silence.
Siobhan,
Yep.
I was working at a video store in Whitman, Hollywood Video.
Oh, I know.
And she came in. She knew one of the kids that I work with just through taking classes at Bridgewater State. And she comes in, and she's wearing this pink Gem and the Holograms T-shirt.
that's
and
it.
that was like, I was like, oh shit, that's sweet. That's sweet. I remember that show. I guarantee she didn't watch that show, but like,
She's a poser.
it drove me. Well, no, and turns out she did. Turns out she
did
knew,
watch the show.
She knew
Okay.
Gem. Yes.
Not personally.
No.
She got her T-shirt autographed. It was awesome.
She's my sister.
That was great. I met her last Tuesday. She's a phenomenal woman.
Why would you not think? Not many people walking around with Gem and the Holograms.
No,
I would
exactly.
assume right away.
So I
that
was
she
like,
a
it was
fan.
one of those things, like, you know, whenever you go out in public and someone recognizes what's on your shirt, it was like
Yeah.
that cool feeling. It was like that. It was love at first sight.
That's how we met.
Love at first sight when you guys
Exactly.
met, right?
It was. Mark had a Fright Night sweatshirt
Right,
on,
at a
or
school
T-shirt
thing,
on.
right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
school thing.
And you had a
I
Star
was like,
Wars.
look at that guy. He's wearing a Fright Night T-shirt.
He's a geek like you.
Yeah, that's okay. Go talk to him. I said, no, he's huge. He's beating the shit out of me.
I would.
He might eat me.
I would have too.
He'll beat me up.
I was in no mood to be where we were. It was
none
at
of
some
us were.
school.
None of
I
us
like
were.
your shirt. Get the fuck away
Yeah,
from me, old
we
man.
could have commiserated about how much we didn't want to be here. We'd rather be home watching Fright Night.
Right.
Yeah.
You're so cool, Brewster.
It was love at first Fright Night.
The magic of T-shirts.
What do you got, Brian?
Right. What else you got?
Yeah, so
Backups.
sorry, I know
No.
we went off on a tangent, but I'm going to kind of piggyback on yours because I'm going with Thundar the Barbarian from
Good
the
one.
80s.
Yeah.
Thundar.
Forgot about
Yep,
that one.
yep, very much like the Herculoids,
Herculoids.
and also done by Hanna-Barbera.
They did
Love that
wacky
show.
races, right?
Yes, they did.
Wacky races?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
yeah.
Muttley and
Yeah.
Snappy
Pit Stop.
Whiplash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That-
Who sounded exactly like Gargamel. I always thought they were related because I knew it was the same voice.
They had the wacky races, and they also had the Yogi's Laugh Olympics, which
Yep.
was kind of like
Yeah.
the same thing. They had all these teams of all the
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera characters.
They would compete against each
They
other.
would compete each week.
I never liked Yogi Bear. I always thought he was an asshole.
He is an asshole.
You're gonna find out. You're gonna find yourself in a picnic basket there.
Come on,
Hey, boo-boo.
he's just a jerk.
Yeah, not a
Never
great
liked
guy.
him. Didn't like Boo Boo. Hey, Yogi,
I don't
shut
think the
fuck up.
Ranger's gonna like that,
Yeah.
Yogi.
Too droopy doggish for me.
You didn't like his bow tie?
No.
Two.
I didn't like his vote. I liked Top Cat. I thought Top Cat was
Top Cat
Cat.
was cool.
Yeah.
Top Hat.
He was,
Yep.
yeah. He was kind of the badass
Very
of
hip.
that crew.
Yeah.
I was a Heathcliff guy.
You like the
Was that
Heathcliff?
the
Yeah, I
same?
like Heathcliff.
And the Junkyard Gang,
was
right?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Riff Raff,
Yeah.
and the... Wow, we're going off. All right, Tita, how about you?
No, it's cool. I also had Gargoyles, Tailspin,
Oh, good one.
the
That's a good
Ronin
one.
Warriors, which was a show I watched when I was younger.
I don't remember that one at all.
It was about 5 samurai. Essentially, each one has a different power of element. And they're trying to stop this guy from trying to destroy the earth. And he has his own 4 that also have other elements.
Ah.
But to create the super armor, all 9 of them have to combine into one. And it was very cool. I used to play at like 2:30 every afternoon. I would run home to watch it. And I hope they bring it back. And you reminded me, and then he said it, but Laugh Olympics, I would love if they brought Laugh Olympics. I loved that fucking show.
Yeah, did you?
I thought it was so fun.
Yeah.
Huckleberry Hound. And...
Yeah, like everybody, Captain
Yeah.
Caveman had his
Yeah.
team.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Captain Caveman.
Yeah, they had the Yogi. Was it the Yogi Yahoos? They had the was it the
Yeah, they all
Snidely and
had-
Muttley?
Snidely and Muttley had a
Yeah,
team.
I forget what they were
Yeah.
called. I can't remember.
Muttley.
I just
Team.
remember the Yogi
Do
Yahoos.
something.
I always thought that was great.
Remember
and the
Grape Ape?
racist
Yeah.
Grape Ape.
Yeah. And
Penelope,
Beasley.
Penelope Pitstop and the mobsters there. the little
Snagglepuss, right?
monsters. Oh,
Snagglepuss was a
Snagglepuss,
yeah.
yeah.
He's a,
Yeah.
I couldn't stand him
Hanna-Barbera
either.
character.
Yeah.
You know like Hanna-Barbera?
Stage left
I mean,
even.
Snagglepuss?
I didn't like Snagglepuss.
Oh, come on.
What's the matter?
It annoyed me.
His was the best. Well, no,
Yeah, no.
Elmer
Top Cat
Fudd's was the
could've-
best comic book one. But
Which one?
when Marvel did that, I mean DC did that thing where they joined up with
Green
Hanna-Barbera
Lantern and
characters
Space Ghost, and
Yes.
the Flash and the one you were talking about. I can't remember the name. The Speed Buggy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Speedo. Spoodoo.
Speedo. Shaggy in a Speedo.
Hey, school. I got the real Ghostbusters.
My pants.
Roro.
I got the real Ghostbusters. Bring that back.
Oh, yeah.
I know they had other cartoons after,
the
but they were
Extreme.
none of that shit. Bring back Arsenio Hall because they chose Arsenio Hall over Ernie
He
Hudson.
did the voice. I know that
play-
they didn't want
No
Ernie
kidding.
Hudson.
Yeah, Ernie Hudson auditioned to play
and they
himself.
said, no, you don't sound enough
He's
like
like,
Winston.
no, you don't sound like Winston. Like, I am Winston. I'm Kramer. I don't know.
And that show had the guy that played Venkman.
So the first guy that played Venkman was Lorenzo Music,
Yes.
who did the voice of Garfield.
That's
And
right.
then-
Oh.
And then
Bill
when
Murray
he
ended
left, no, it was Dave Coulier who,
up. Well, yeah, no,
who
but
did his
that's
voice.
son
but
of a
I
bitch.
thought the cool the cool connection
connecting thing
was that
yeah.
in the movie when they made the first Garfield movies,
Yeah.
Bill Murray played
Oh,
Garfield.
did the voice of Garfield.
which was
That's
and,
right.
Yeah, so it was like they switched it up. It was they basically have the same voice.
Canadians. Am I right?
Yeah. Canadians. Am
I don't know
right?
if Bill Murray's Canadian. Dave Coulier is.
I don't know.
Fuck him.
Tristan, Chris,
it
do you want to
Weigh in on it?
Chime in.
Can you comment on this? Bill Murray, one of yours? I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
I don't think, yeah, Dave
We'll
Coulier
trade you Bill
definitely
Murray for Shatner. How's that?
There you go.
You can have him back.
Can you? I like Kingdom of the Spiders. Leave me alone. He's great in that. Bill Shatner is. You never saw that?
No.
Oh, that's a great movie.
I don't like William Shatner.
I know. Then you're not gonna like this movie. You don't like
Terrible.
bugs either, right? You don't like.
Oh, no.
Then you're not gonna like
Movies
this
about
movie.
bugs?
Like
No.
spider invasions.
Uh-uh.
Then you're gonna hate this movie. That's like a double dose.
No.
That movie is caca to you. Caca. All right, that's
appetizers.
That was a lot of
Nice.
appetizers.
Appetizers being appetizers.
Duff.
All right, let's end the show. Just go watch X-Men '97. Good night.
It's fun.
Ready for the main course?
The main course.
No.
No.
Well, look who's up at 2 in the afternoon. There's still some pig ass and sweet cream there if you want it.
I want to talk.
Your main course is full of spiders.
Scary.
No spiders in this. We're okay. Over the years, our greatest hits seem to be swimming in nostalgia, be it movies, music, or TV shows, sequels to movies long thought done, remakes and reboots trying to bring new life into some past stories and characters, all designed to bring our generation back to the good old days, when we walked uphill in the snow both ways, talked on a telephone, not lived on it, and watched TV, not binged watched. But if you had to binge watch, you may want to check out this beloved animated series called X-Men '97, which takes those classic mutants of the 90s and brings them into modern times with slick animation, yet maintaining that 90s style we all consider iconic. From the opening music to a lot of the returning voice actors, X-Men '97 proves that you can't keep great heroes down, nor amazing cartoons. Gentlemen, and I use this term very loosely, very loosely after tonight, folks.
How dare you?
How dare I? How dare I? Opening thoughts.
First and foremost, I like the show. Let me get that out right out of the way, because I don't want anyone to think that I didn't like it. I am a fan.
already think that you don't.
I know you do. I know it.
There's a big button there somewhere.
Hoisted by my own petard.
Can we talk about your big butt, Daddy?
Please continue.
I am a fan of the X-Men. I am one of those kids in the mid-'90s that hadn't really read a lot of comics, and then along come Batman and X-Men on Fox, and it just hooked me. One of the things I loved about the original was that the show ran for 5 seasons, so it was able to include all these different characters that aren't as well known. I hope this version has the opportunity to do the same. The other big thing is that the overall idea of the X-Men, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, is the equal rights argument. Mutants versus humans, all the Malcolm X, MLK parallels. I loved that growing up, but sometimes it feels like overkill in that Batman Crime Alley kind of way. Like, we get it, can we highlight something else or explore other subtext? But the unfortunate truth about this is that 25 to 30 years later, it's still relevant. That fear and hatred for people who are different or that we don't understand is still inherent in the general populace, and it's a real bummer. Anyway, I'm not as sold on it as a lot of other people seem to be, and we'll get into a lot of the details, I'm sure, but this was a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to future installments.
Very nice. Very nice.
Nice. Yeah, the good old days, Mark. The good old days.
The good old days.
When men were men and X-Men were X-Men.
Yes.
That's
agreed.
That's puns for Tito. My first impressions, it had the look and feel of the original Fox series. So close to the original series, it's uncanny.
Ooh. Uncanny. I see what you did.
Thank you. I'm here all week. They totally nailed the 90s style of animation, and with the addition of a lot of the original voice actors returning to voice their roles again, it was such a nostalgia trip. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I dug it.
Totally.
Cool.
Even though, and here's my big but, I was not a huge fan of the original series. I didn't watch it a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I was older, a little older than you guys are.
Yeah. He was banging chicks.
I was
We were still watching cartoons.
That's it.
I don't blame you, man. I would have been
92 to 90. Yeah, I was on my starter wife back then. So yeah, I didn't watch a lot of it. I wasn't watching a lot of Saturday morning cartoons back then. I was aware of it. I did watch some of it. I didn't watch it the entire run of it, but
had you already been a fan of the X-Men? Like, had you been reading and stuff?
They weren't my favorite.
No,
they weren't my favorite. I didn't get into the X-Men until maybe a few years later, when I was working at a comic book store. I worked in a comic book store from like 95 to 98, and that was when I got into it big time. The Jim Lee run had just started, and I jumped on that, because comics were huge back in the mid 90s. They were putting out all the embossed and all the hologram and all the 3D covers, variant covers by the truckload. They had saturated the market, unfortunately. So I was jumping on the bandwagon, but so was everybody else. And I think all our books are worth next to nothing right now. But that was when I got into the X-Men, I should say. Still not a huge fan. Yeah. Not my favorite, but we'll get into it as the categories roll on. Yeah. But that being said, I did enjoy the cartoon for what it was. I loved the look of it. I think they nailed that. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would agree. I love the look of the cartoon and the newer aspects to animation that they've incorporated into it, especially with like the action. Yeah. You can tell it's a little more elevated, as we like to say on the show. I love the show. I love the 90s version. I love the X-Men. I grew up reading the X-Men and kind of exclusively reading the X-Men. There was just so much of them. Yeah. There were so many characters that I kind of didn't need anything else for a little while besides those characters. And then when other teams like X-Force, X-Factor, Excalibur, Generation X, like all these other groups started to come in, then I was like, okay, there's even more for me to get into. And what I loved about the original show is even if characters didn't speak, they would pop up in the background randomly. And I just love that about this show. And I love that when it comes to the X-Men, they've made so many different animated versions. There's always the staple, like Wolverine's always got to be in your show because he's just that good. Right. But you can pick any 7 to 10 characters, throw them in there, and it's going to be fun. And it's going to be interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I love this series. I thought I would like it. I didn't realize I would like it this much. I've seen it all the way through 3 times. I fucking enjoy watching it.
Yeah. I've said this before. I wasn't a huge X-Men fan as a kid. For some reason, I never really got into comic books with teams. It was always Spider-Man. It was always Batman. It was solo heroes mostly, and I'm not really sure why. But in the 90s, I was really into the art. I was into the art comics. I got all of the Youngblood stuff because, in the 90s, I didn't know better. I had all my Liefeld comic books, my McFarlane books, and most of all, I had Jim Lee. And Jim Lee's X-Men just looks so good. I started picking up X-Men books because I just love to look at the art and really didn't pay too much attention to the story. I just loved the art. So that was enough for me to watch the show. And watching the show, I actually fell off of it after because it was, at the time it was good, but it was still around the time of Batman, the animated series.
Right.
Nothing topped it. So I kind of fell off that show. Flash forward a few decades later, here I am now catching up on all X-Men comic books, movies, and I'm really digging the X-Men, more so now than I ever did. And I went back and I rewatched the whole 90s series and X-Men, and Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah.
Love them. And so with this I couldn't wait to start this new series, and I'm glad I waited until they all came out. I'm glad I got to, binge watch the whole damn series because I think it's a phenomenal cartoon. I think it's one of the best animated things I've seen in an awfully long time. I think the animation is solid. I love the image, the surrealism of many of the episodes that that just come to play. And I love the characters, and I love how we focus on something other than Wolverine. I think my problem with toward the end of the original 90s series, it focused so heavily on Wolverine. A lot of the other characters were on the back burner. Absolutely.
Yeah,
and I did like Wolverine as a kid.
Right.
He was fun to draw. Any character that was fun to draw, I would pick up those comic books just to copy. So I did have some Wolverine books. But again, didn't know the story, didn't know Weapon X. I just knew Wolverine looked cool. So anyway, the series is great. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for more. Again, more of an X-Men fan now, and more of a fan of just teams in comic books.
Yeah.
Just like when I discovered the Justice League back in the early 2000s and realized I was more a fan of the Flash and Superman and Green Lantern than I ever was younger or in the early 90s. In the 90s, it was just Batman. I didn't give a shit about Superman. I didn't care about any of that stuff. And even now, teams like the Avengers are more interesting to me now. So I don't know if it's because I'm older or because I podcast with people and I appreciate the whole team. I don't know what it is, but I love them. There you go.
Yeah. Nice.
Categories. So you've whipped up some categories for us.
I just had a couple,
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure which ones we decided on, so I threw them all in.
Me too.
I saw the ones that Tito or somebody said we were scrapping.
I ended up doing every single
under
one.
those regular categories, I put the word scrapped for my answer. And then I added Derek's at the end.
Okay.
So
how do you want to do this?
I'll just read
them
down.
off? Yeah, you read them off.
If you got something for it, you got something for it. If you don't, you don't.
Sounds good.
Favorite scenes?
Favorite scenes. Episode 1's first battle. Just the way that the Gambit and Logan, the combo move with like him charging up the claws.
Oh, when they fight the Sentinels.
Right.
Yeah.
Jean and Storm, and they're kind of like team up banter. And then Cyclops, like I never liked Cyclops. I never, ever, ever liked Cyclops. I thought he was the dumbest character. I never liked him on the show. Didn't like him in the movies.
That's pretty much everybody.
Right.
Everybody like that I've ever heard talk about the X-Men, they're like, "Oh, Cyclops is so fucking boring."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Why is he?
And
even
all
here?
he did, he had the optic blast, but this, like the way that he uses it, jumping out of the plane, and he like hits the ground with the optic blast to
see you on the
right.
He uses it like a retro rocket,
right?
To break himself.
He does it a couple times in this, like throughout the series. He uses like his powers in a different way than I've ever seen, and I dug
He
that.
incorporates it into his fighting style also. Instead of like throwing a punch or to evade a punch, he shoots the blast and it sends him back.
Right.
To evade something.
Right. Like
I thought it was fucking phenomenal.
Total and obviously with you don't have to worry about a budget for the special effect in animation. It's awesome that they did that. They went all in for him and they made him an interesting character in general. So.
There was more attitude with him.
Yeah.
He wasn't always goody-goody.
And just the fact that started the episode, that whole scene just set the stage.
Yeah.
And in such a cool, big way. Yeah. And I also, episode 2, the UN hearing and the executioner, it was so cool. And I Magneto's another one that I kind of just, obviously he's the big bad, for so long. Everybody likes him and knows him, but he's new in this, and it's a different Magneto than I've seen, and it was really cool. Yeah. So those two scenes, I really like.
Storm getting shot in the back is
right.
Really big. And you're like, this is what this kind of shows. This is what the show's gonna be. Wow. Yep. Like right off the jump, you're like, holy shit, this is what it's gonna be. But they killed Morph in the first series, but like nobody gave a shit about Morph, so it didn't
Morph
matter.
sucked.
Right. I thought
Nobody
so.
cared about Morph.
I thought they killed him.
He died in
Yeah.
the first episode.
And
of
even
the
even
original
when he
series.
came back, he wasn't very interesting. I
there's some, like,
love what they
sinister
do
stuff.
with him in this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I think what they do with him is what an opportunity to have so many Marvel character cameos because Morph can change into all
Oh,
of
it's
them.
Right.
fucking awesome. And he can, and what they did with him
But
is
that bugs
fantastic.
me because I think he should just be a shapeshifter
Oh,
and just
now he can
disguise
do their
himself,
powers.
and not. He shouldn't be able to have their abilities too,
Yeah.
because that makes him way too OP.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hated that.
You don't
Well, that's
like
like,
that.
well, that's
Didn't
like
like
Mystique when she can
Right.
mimic people,
Yeah.
but then she has their
just
voices.
mimic them. Well, the
Like,
voice I
or
can
the
see.
or the fingerprints.
You can be good at disguising
Yeah.
somebody's voice, you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
or at least a close approximation. But yeah, when you start doing their powers, it's like if you can't fly normally and then you transform into say Angel, and all of a sudden you're flying all over the place.
Right.
Why can't you just like hover in your normal guys? You know.
Right.
Why?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even think
You
about
know?
that.
I guess he just can't.
Yeah.
It's just science.
Science.
I kind of like
That's
it.
just mutant.
Well, with
Excellent.
Angel, he once you have
full of
wings,
morph
that's what makes
secrets.
him. Yeah.
So I thought I'm like sometimes I don't even know if he does entirely have it, because when he becomes the Hulk, a lot of that is Jean Grey. Like you can see the
Right.
blue around him when he's like doing spins.
That is true.
Right.
And she's like tearing through Sentinels with him. So, but yeah, I didn't even. Yeah,
There's
I
also
didn't, I
this
didn't like it at
thing-
first. I was like,
No.
oh, he couldn't do that before. Now he can.
I like it. There's also this thing. He doesn't do it for very long. It's almost like he can't.
Right.
hold
Like
on.
he has a time
Yeah,
limit.
Keep it together.
Which
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
like Iron
Because
Man.
why wouldn't you want to go around as say the Hulk or somebody more powerful during the whole battle? But the fact that he's constantly changing leads me to believe that he
You
can't.
can only hold it for so long.
Yeah, which that's more interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
But say that.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah. I just always assumed that.
And he was
more
he a
than
character
one.
that they made up for the original
Well,
cartoon?
there was a changeling character.
Changeling.
That's
that
right.
Yeah.
But they
dies.
changed
He's
his
kinda
they
based-
changed his
yeah.
name because DC had a changeling. Is
Beast,
that what it
well,
was?
that was, Beast Boy was changeling
Okay.
originally.
All right.
And they
So
wanted
made
to
him
kill
more
somebody
Titans.
off. They
Yeah.
wanted to kill somebody off to start the series,
and they killed more.
They were like, let's get a throwaway character that we can just
Supposedly.
kill off.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should
I
have
thought
been
it
Joel
was
Bully.
one of the fucking lame. You know, it's funny because he's such a generic looking character in the original.
Yeah.
That having no nose and no face makes him look so much better.
Well, I thought it reminded
He's
me.
got
Of,
so
it
much more
reminded me of
personality.
Chameleon from Spider-Man.
Yeah, from Spider-Man.
You
Yeah.
know, which was like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. Are they kind of related in a way? I'm sure
Well,
they're
it's-
not, but
it's
because
more of his,
Chameleon does the same thing too.
What's that? His Age of Apocalypse. That's kind of his version.
Right.
Right.
That they're using. You got a favorite scene, Brian?
I don't because I thought we were scrapping this one.
Oh, okay.
I have down in the text that says, "Let's scrap favorite scene. What doesn't work? Too long, too
Yeah.
short. What's missing? Post credits and better ending."
That was
Yeah,
when you.
but-
That was when you go. Oh, so pretty much everything.
That's right.
So,
That's
But-
why I remembered it. So I'm like,
Also-
but nobody said no. So I'm like, I guess we are.
Yeah, but while we were doing this, you sent us a pic of what was going on at the time, and you were involved in something.
Yes.
So,
Well, I know, but that was,
I
that
don't
was
think.
before that. But even
Yeah.
still, nobody said that we weren't not scrapping those. So I just put, like I said, scrapped in these.
No.
Well, initially, I said scrap it because Derek included the favorite episode.
episode.
So I was
All
like,
right.
okay, we can just go with favorite episode, and then like so many of our conversations, they just petered out. So I just answered every question. But to be fair, you had some shit going on, so I was like, I'm not
I
even
did.
gonna fucking bother
I didn't.
at this
I
point.
figured just
Brian's got
answer
a lot
on
of
a
shit
whim
going
with
on.
everything.
Right.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can.
So bring on whatever.
I got
Do you
it.
have a favorite scene?
I got so many.
Spout them out, man.
Gambit's death is fucking heart wrenching, and I absolutely love it. Gambit's funeral is phenomenal.
It is.
I
It is.
love that they brought Nightcrawler back, and that he became like essential to the cast when they fight the Sentinels. And I got
Oh, even included in the intro toward the end of the series.
Yeah.
was awesome.
Well, did you notice that the intro? The cool thing about the intro is that
They
it
change
changed
every
throughout the
episode.
season.
Yes, it did.
So like once Bishop went away, and
There was no more Bishop in the
right, and then when
opening
Magneto
credits.
joined,
Yep,
he
Gambit
was all of a
dies,
sudden
he's
in
out,
Yeah,
Nightcrawler
yeah.
back in.
Right.
Did you notice that Jean Grey's hair changes once they realize who the real Jean Grey
Yes.
is?
yes.
Yep.
That I thought was
did.
very cool too.
Yeah.
And then Storm's goodbye letter I thought was
Yeah.
just phenomenal, which carried over from the original. I always thought that storylines were just so mature, and
Right.
the only other shows like that were Batman the animated series and Spider-Man, the '90s Spider-Man. I
Right.
thought a lot of the times was could have some good mature.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons, again, why X-Men probably didn't interest me so much when I was younger, because it did deal with a lot of mature themes back then, that it was a very grown-up book, and I was still, watching Spider-Man kick ass with Dr. Octopus and Batman and Robin and all that stuff, so maybe that could have been part of the reason, too. Anyway.
Do you have any favorite scenes?
I do. Well, the first battle with the Sentinels, Gambit, loading up Wolverine's claws was friggin' genius. I loved when they got back into their original outfits. The gold team.
Yeah, the 90s style. Not the 90s style, but yes.
Yeah, was it Uncanny? Would you call it the
Well, that's like when Wolverine, Colossus, and Storm joined the group.
Right.
Because the original X-Men had been captured.
Yeah.
And
the brown and yellow suit was great.
But then those X-Men became X-Factor, so that's when Marvel Girl starts wearing her costume.
Okay.
Scott starts wearing the hood with the... He continues with the...
Angel becomes Archangel.
Yeah. But
the attack on Genosha was friggin' awesome. Sad, but awesome. And then the last big one was Nightcrawler and Wolverine facing off against the Sentinel zombies.
Yeah.
And I'll get more on that too. But that was just great.
Yeah.
Those two, you never see those two together, or I haven't anyway.
No,
enough.
and they do what I think Marvel did really, really well in a lot of their movies, where they would do the team up moves, like with Thor and Cap, or Thor and Iron Man, or Captain America,
or even when Colossus throws Wolverine.
Right, the speedball, the fastball special,
right?
Yeah.
Was that right? Gambit does load up Wolverine's claws, or does
he does.
Yeah, at the beginning,
he loads them up, shoots them off into the air.
Yeah. Oh man, just some brilliant strategic fighting. That was great, and I did like. When Morph turns into the Hulk and beats up the Sentinels. I thought, this is great. It's a nice little moment.
Yeah, I like that. That's what was always such a favorite of mine. Is that they would just sneak people in there every so often.
Yeah.
Do we have a what doesn't work for me?
Yeah. Rogue's voice. I didn't realize until
it's the same woman.
No,
though.
I know. I didn't realize that
me too, though.
until I watched the Assembled documentary.
She's
that it's
old.
Lenore Zahn.
She's old.
Old. Yeah,
they're old.
That's exactly what I have.
Did you?
Yeah, and I just wrote it because I had it that it was one of the ones that we were scrapping. So I'm like, well, what annoyed me? I'm like, oh, fucking Rogue's voice, man. She sounds like she's 75.
Right.
She was. And she is.
It was rough. It sounded like a completely different actress. I just didn't. I didn't dig it. I heard she improvised a lot of her lines too.
Oh,
yeah, is that why she sounded like Dolly Parton, spouting off like?
See, I think she
really went.
You're harder than a canary on a live wire.
I think she sounded like
that was the mystery joke.
Oh, sorry.
You all interrupted.
She ad-libbed all of her lines.
She cut out the setup.
She went.
See that?
Sorry. I wanted to throw in quickly.
Sorry, we both talked over it.
She sounded like Bobby from King of the Hill.
Yes,
she
did.
Yeah, I bet.
Yes.
Especially toward the end. I don't know. I was getting Bobby from King of the Hill vibes.
Also, while I enjoy Mojo and I like the video game stuff, I am not a Jubilee fan. I never have been. I never will be.
I heard that.
And yet she got, and that she got a singled out episode. Granted, she had to share it with Storm, her story too, which was okay, but
not enough. No.
Also, Professor X, stop fucking walking. I hated it. No, I hated it in the comics. I hate it in the movies. I hate it in the show.
He's up, he's down, he's everywhere.
Right.
What the fuck is with
I
this
like
guy?
Xavier in the chair. Like even in the newer comics when he's standing, he's got that big stupid helmet thing on. Sit the fuck down, Charles.
Cerebro.
Sit down.
Cerebro to go.
I don't know what the world's obsession is with taking disabled characters from comics and fixing them. For example, Barbara Gordon. Like it's such a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
Like, stay in the chair. Stay in the fucking chair. We all love the chair. We want the yellow chair in the hover chair.
Take that, Christopher Reeve. So young women with short hair and sunglasses, you tend to shout. You got
Who else other than Jubilee?
Carrie Kelly.
Oh, fuck Carrie Kelly.
And Jubilee. Both have a similar design.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of short hair on women, I guess, but I don't think that's the defining factor.
You don't like the spunk. You don't like the spunk.
Not a
She
fan
just
of
always
slingshot.
annoyed me.
Not a fan of spunk.
She just annoyed me. She was a whiny teenager.
And you don't like when
I hate that
when disabled people get the power of walking.
Right.
You're like, fuck
Right.
that. Stay in your chair.
But no, because you know what? It's an
the
insult.
Avengers.
It's
Stay down,
an
Rhodey.
insult. I look at it as an insult to disabled people. They have someone in the story that they can relate to, someone that does their part even though they're they have a disability.
Yeah.
and then you magically cure them, and it's like, all right, well, what does that say for the real person? Because you can't magically, heal.
It's good.
I know it's a comic book.
Are you okay with them bringing Batman back from the dead?
Yes, because because that's what comics do.
And you
Is
don't
they
have
always
Alexa
bring people
stand
dead.
on.
I did it! I'm gonna be so proud of himself. It's
Beautiful
awesome.
job, Tito.
Well, it only took him 3 episodes.
Continue, though.
I'm surprised he didn't try to make a car reference.
No, I was thinking about that too, but nothing was coming to mind.
You were training for this all
Yeah,
week,
I have
Rocky
been.
style.
I have been.
Standing in front of the mirror. Okay.
I was like, I wanna walk Derek right into this one.
Ba-doomba! Hey, look, he's on fire. Oh, put him out.
I'm sorry, but you're
No, that's all. That's all I got. Brian, what did?
Like I said before, I have Morph's bogus powers and Rogue's voice. She sounded like she was 75.
I don't like Sunspot, and I fucking love Sunspot. I don't like him in the show.
No.
I think he has the same effect on me Jubilee does for you.
Yeah.
But I liked Jubilee because I grew up watching Jubilee, and I liked her. I liked the kid that with the arcade games, and I thought trench coats were fucking cool. I really did.
Highlander, man. We
Yeah,
we
how
all
could
thought-
you hate?
Yeah.
She could have a sword. Who knows what's under there?
Sunspot's mom was a bitch.
Oh, she sucks.
Fuck that
She's the
bitch.
worst.
Oh, yeah, dude.
She's just a fan of Dick Tracy and that yellow raincoat.
Not a fan of Captain America's cameo. Didn't
No?
like
Oh,
him.
no?
He didn't work for me. I wasn't feeling
Wow,
him.
you of all people.
He
I'm
came off as
surprised.
real like
Dipshit.
you're being a real bitch right now, Cap. I don't like this. We're gonna play it safe on this one, Rogue. I was like, what? Fuck you. No way.
I did like
Captain America sees an injustice and he acts.
Yeah.
You know?
I did like him in the original 90. He had that episode with Wolverine that was
Oh, that's an awesome. Yeah.
This one, it was kind of weird. It's like, and then she takes the shield and throws.
Oh,
it.
I
We have
loved
spoilers.
it.
We have
I
spoilers.
loved
by
it.
the way.
I was like, oh, he's never gonna find that thing now. That's what you get for
That's
acting
what I
like
thought
that.
that look on his face was. Like, oh, man.
Yeah, she threw my fucking shield.
Shit, they're gonna be so upset. I lost another one.
Oh, it's true.
Bet you wish you had that motorcycle from the 70s movie, huh? Yeah, looking pretty good now. Of course, it was in the snow, but still, whatever.
What doesn't work for you?
Okay, Magneto and Rogue. Magneto,
The love affair.
the love between them. He seems like more of a father figure than he is.
Well, technically, Rogue is 75, so.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It is a little May December.
It is, but there's something not right about it. And
It's a little more February, December.
Yeah, I don't love it either.
I wasn't a fan of that. I thought it was a little creepy.
And that was like Age of Apocalypse too, but at
Yeah.
no point. I mean, she was part of the Brotherhood at some point, but that was never explored.
I don't know. Again, there are people that know this whole lore a lot better than I do, so I'm sure it works for them. But for me, it just seemed
was creepy.
wrong. It
Yeah.
seemed creepy. It's like
Plus,
these guys are like the ultimate father figures to everybody. You know what I mean? It's it's like a weird student and teacher kind of thing. But not in that cool, vivid kind of way.
You don't see Professor X asking Jubilee to sit on his lap.
Yeah.
No.
Well, he can't feel anything
He's
anyway.
fucking
So.
dead
Doesn't
down
matter.
there.
Unless he's walking.
He's dead down there, I think.
I think.
Him and Barbara Gordon, they just mash it together.
Gene, I need your help again.
Yeah, Gene, I'm flaccid. Can you
Gene,
me out?
make things move with your
straighten
mind.
me out, Gene?
It's been so long. Gene.
It's so long.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. That was the only thing. And
Well, because when we grew up, Gambit and Rogue were the couple.
Yeah.
And it's
there was
like even
that.
in
Still are. She took his last name.
which is kind of why I liked what I guess I kind of liked what they do with the Magneto Rogue thing, because it made the audience feel like Gambit felt.
Yeah.
It really made Gambit like a central character of the show, and you related to him a lot because you were like you don't want them to get together. You want her to stay with Gambit. Like that's how this is supposed to go.
yeah, well,
The Southern Belle and the New Orleans Gambler.
no, not
They,
no.
they tried really hard to make you not like Rogue, which I kind of liked.
Yeah, she was she lived up to her name.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, and in the comics, she's kind of like back and forth.
Yeah, and the older show not so much, but like X-Men, Wolverine and the X-Men,
Right.
where they're in high school. What was that one called?
Evolution.
Evolution.
Yeah.
She's like
She's a hot
playing
little
both
goth
sides.
girl.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect of her. So I kind of like that they put it back in this version.
And the thing that kind of threw me off too, Professor Xavier's kind of dumb in this.
Yeah.
He's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Like not as dumb as getting his ass kicked by what's her face and Doctor Strange, in the Mouth of Madness, whatever the hell it was called. I don't
Yeah.
remember. It's
The multiverse
the
of
multiverse
madness.
of shit with Scarlet Witch taken out. I'm not that stupid, but I feel like this is just a dumb move. Like, let's leave it to Magneto. I'm going to leave everything. I just feel like he would have. Doesn't seem like a good idea.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
He tried. He had a lot of
Too much-
faith in his
I
film.
don't
Put too
care.
much faith
It worked out.
Did it though?
Did it?
A little more for
Did
the
it?
most part.
I don't know about that.
Not towards the end. It didn't.
No, it certainly did not.
Wow.
I mean, it wasn't Magneto's fault that they massacred him.
Exactly.
Fucking
That's
Exactly.
true.
I would've been
Yeah.
like, damn, we're gonna kill some people. Now we gotta kill some people. Sorry, Charles. Now we gotta kill some
Sorry,
people.
Charlie.
They executed. Yeah, they killed Leech, man. Come on.
Oh, man.
That's right. That was fucked.
He's not
Yeah.
dead. He's not dead.
No, they're all coming back.
They all
I
come
think-
back.
I
People in
don't-
comic books come back.
I also don't like characters that refer to themselves in the third person. Like Rogue. When did he start? Not Rogue. Gambit. When did he start?
Oh, he always.
Oh, yeah,
he
Yeah,
always
they always
did?
refer to
In the
themselves
cartoon?
as
I
the
hated
person
that.
Shaq.
I hated that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Gambit make you
Like,
feel
wh-
good,
yeah,
Shaq.
yeah, no.
Gambit
no.
holding all the cards.
Why can't you just say I'm holding all the cards?
He grew up in a fucking puddle of
Because
water.
when you grow up in
Surrounded
the
by alligators.
bayou, that's what happens. Yeah, you're alone in the bayou with the
right.
alligators.
I get it.
Alligators.
I
You'd be
get
doing
baby.
it too. You'd be like Brian holding all the microphones.
I get it. You got a 5th grade education. That's as far as you got.
Bingo. Bingo.
Damn.
Yeah, he got his, School of Hard Knocks was his,
I guess so.
Friend of the show, New Orleans.
not since the levees broke.
That's right.
Not since
So is
the
that like a
It's-
that's like a Mac and Me place for you then?
That's
huh?
a Mac and Me state.
It's summer. It's summer.
But that was
Hurricanes
it for
are
me.
coming.
Those two things, and it was still good storytelling with Magneto running the show. It wasn't
Yeah.
like it was a bad plot. It was just like, I'm shaking my head like that's a real dumb thing to do. So
Anything work for you?
Yeah, the animation, the majority of the voices, the improvements to the action, and I love the Genosha angle. I am not a fan. Like the newer stuff in the comics is all about Genosha, and it's like a full blown country, and they've got like there's these portals all over the world that the entrance to it is exclusive to mutants only. I hate it. I fucking hate like the whole. It's the Sword of X, the House of X, all these of X series that they've been doing. I'm not a fan. I thought
House of X or House of M?
No, there was House of M.
Yeah,
House
I
of
didn't
M was
read
awesome.
House of X, but yeah.
But House of X, there's like it's all these newer plot lines and stuff. Like the only good stuff is that what was that thing that they do where there's like a gala. The
And they
mutant
released an
gala.
issue for it. It's
Right.
fucking cool. It's
Right.
almost like the Met Gala, but for comic books.
Right.
Yeah.
And they all
it's
like
kinda fucking cool.
they get like artists to do these really cool like costumes, dress like
Of
things
them in like ball
for them
gowns
to-
and shit. It's
right.
It's a fucking
and
cool
then it's like a whole event. They
It's
all
like back in
go
the day
and-
when they used to do the swimsuit issue.
yeah, basically.
Well, and it was very like Mission Impossible-ish, like in the first one that they did, because like while the party's going on, there's like all these different secret meetups going on, because during this event they invite a handful of humans are able to pass through, and they kind of like give them tours of the nation and how it works and everything. And it's like that was kind of cool, but for the most part, so I thought as soon as they started like kind of veering towards that in this season, I was like, oh shit. But I love what they did with it, and the whole attack on Genosha. It was like they didn't waste any time with any of that story, which I'm glad, and they just jumped right to.
Yeah.
What
Well, I think they're
happened.
still pulling from older stuff. Which
Right.
is, there's plenty of
Right.
really great stories to pull from.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't fuck with anything new either.
But those are mine. Brian,
Anything work?
I just got-
I'm sorry.
No,
Who did
no,
we start
no,
with?
that's okay.
that was me.
Oh,
Jared,
what-
start
does
with
that
Jared.
work
Worked
for
for
you?
me,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
excuse
no,
me.
I just got the nostalgia work for me. I totally
Yeah.
dug the 90s vibe of it. And a couple of times I had to keep reminding myself that it takes place in the 90s.
Right.
I'm like, where are the cell phones? Why are people like calling for help, Oh, yeah, that's right. It's X-Men 97.
My Geek Flag is a similar thing, and I was like, "What the
All
fuck
right.
is going on in this show?
All right.
I don't understand."
Yeah, just put a bunch of psychics in a room, Tito. It's bound to happen.
But I was like, "Oh, it's the fucking '80s." Oh, okay. Took me 3 episodes to realize. Got it. Just make a fucking call. I got some quick ones. The intros I love. Oh, the other one is you know how the people at the end when they crash into each other, there's the people running towards the screen. by the
They
last
changed two
episode,
of
they
them.
become the Sentinels.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I thought was really fucking cool what they did with those. Adding Nightcrawler's such a fucking awesome character.
It really is. I was really happy to see one of them.
He's so well done in this.
Good
He was
Wagner.
so well done in X2.
Right.
God, I wish they would bring Alan Cummings back for that. The action, I think, is fantastic. I love when even the Nazis are so awful that Mr. Sinister or any villain wants nothing to do with them. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Or they're just like, oh no, the fucking Nazis? No. We want to kill everybody, but no, not the Nazis. I love that shit.
I love Hitler.
Who doesn't?
When he was talking to, I forget who, about Dr.
He was talking about
Talking to
Doctor
Sinister.
Doom.
Oh.
No, but he's talking about a real Nazi.
Oh, Dr. Mangler.
Mangala.
yeah.
And he's like, Dr. Mangala, fuck that guy. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, of course. Of course you have nothing
He
in
didn't
common.
even come close.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I love shit like that.
It was cool to see Dr. Doom pop up. Even
It
for
was.
the
Oh,
seconds,
yeah,
too.
and,
It was cool to see a lot
Baron
of people.
Zemo.
yeah.
Spider-Man,
Black
Daredevil,
Panther. That's
right,
Black
Spider-Man
Panther,
showed up for a
Cloak and
hot second.
Dagger, Iron Man.
90s Iron Man.
Yeah.
From the
Yeah.
animated- From
Yep.
that show. Yeah,
Yep.
that was cool.
Where it
Very
was
cool.
mostly gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
What works for you?
What works for me, the animation, it's all awesome, but the animation is great. The demon that haunts Storm is brilliantly drawn.
Oh, the adversary.
When Sinister comes in, actually, Sinister
It
is
reminded me of the
freaking-
Death Note demon for some reason.
It had that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look about it.
The when the mansion, when everybody started hallucinating, the hallucination.
Oh, you know, when I first saw the
Seen
show, I
Things
was like,
He
Mark
Hates.
will love this shit.
it was
It's great.
incredibly drawn.
That reminds me of like a Miyazaki fucking movie.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that in here. The action scenes were beautifully drawn, and even the stuff that Genosha, the whole clubbing scene on Genosha looked beautiful,
Yeah.
and Storm riding off into the sunset on a horse. I never was a Storm fan or a fan of horses, and I still don't.
We know
like
you don't like
horses,
horses.
but I loved both of those things in these scenes with her and Forger. I thought. Just great. The animation was beautiful.
That's another character they made a lot better, I think, than the original.
They did,
Yeah,
yeah.
she has so many great
Her
lines.
Way more
story,
fleshed
is
out.
monologues
awesome.
and
Yeah,
the
and,
letter she writes is fucking heartbreaking.
It's such.
I love the narration over
Yeah.
when things are going on. Like, what's her name? Cooper, when she's talking to Sinister about Magneto being right. She's got that monologue while Magneto basically magnetizes the world or whatever. That was a beautiful moment as well.
The thing about Storm too is that like she's one of the coolest characters. Honestly, she's visually cool, and she always has been, and it's a very cool power. But they've never seemed to have to really do much with her.
No,
the original series and obviously the movies, she always has these 2-second things where she does something stupid.
It was nothing but one-liners. You
Right.
may want to stand back. Know what happens when a toad gets hit by lightning?
I love that line. The same thing that happens to everyone else. I love that shit.
I hated that line.
It's so stupid.
I didn't
It's
like her in
amazing.
that movie, but no, that wasn't really anything to do with Halle Berry.
I
It was
hated
just-
Toad's
it was a-
line.
it was
Don't
a-
you people ever die?
No.
Oh.
Because I
Don't you people ever die?
I didn't know what he said for years.
Did you say, don't you people eat pie?
No, I thought he said it should be forever dark or something like that. I don't know.
That too. Not my
Don't you know
hashtag.
I'm Ray Park?
Don't you? Yeah. It was the beginning of a beautiful love
You do when
affair
he does that
between
thing
me
with
and
the
Ray
elevator
Park.
door and the pole.
That little spinny thing.
Yeah.
He's so fucking talented.
He is.
You got any quotes? That
I
you
got
love?
a bunch, yeah. Most other nations don't allow a terrorist to be their leader, yet so many allow their leaders to be terrorists. The only people who don't like video games are bad at video games. Make them the Storm and Jean Grey thing.
Oh, that's mine
make them
too.
mind your weather, sister, and them weather your mind. Magneto was right, very cool.
was
Like
right.
Thanos was right, kind of vibe. And then Xavier would see his what's her name? Shire Darkstar, right? Is that what her name is? The sister of the
Deathbird.
Deathbird.
Yeah.
She says Xavier would see his Milky Way ghetto become our
Yeah,
new
yeah,
throne world. Because I was like, shit, that's really what we are. I bet that's what the universe looks at us as.
We're just not as advanced.
No.
I also like that they saw human mutants as being unclean.
Yeah.
Right? And it was like he's not even pure. He's a fucking mutant. It was like,
Right.
but he's the most powerful mutant on Earth. And probably in this fucking spaceship.
Right.
He's the most powerful thing here. But you still look down at him. Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
Stupid aliens.
I never liked them.
I didn't either.
You got any quotes?
Nope.
No?
No, I thought we were scrapping that one.
No, I didn't scrap quotes.
No, we didn't scrap quotes?
No.
I just put down none.
Oh, I love when they say that. None.
Yeah, you know, but one thing that did bother me, I thought that the dialogue sounded very soap opera-ish.
Yeah.
Like just listening to it, and even
the show was
even a couple of the characters at multiple points during the run of the show saying, "You're being so dramatic," and I'm like, "Yes, they are. They're being overly dramatic." It's such a soap opera. Holy shit! That's all the dialogue sounded to me.
That's how the show was.
Yeah,
I agree, but yeah,
Very,
even
very
the
soap
original is
opera.
very soap opera.
It's very over the top. I found the dialogue to be very over the top.
Yeah.
No matter what they were doing.
Right.
I got the name's Gambit, one of me. Remember it?
That's mine.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler. I absolutely love Nightcrawler's fucking eulogy to Gambit. There is no love, but he has a moment when he's talking to Gambit, when he's trying to get him to like, you know, you guys love each other, and he says there is no love without sin, which I really liked.
Yeah.
I forgot how many sunsets your eyes have seen. I've only seen one of you, Red Wolverine, which is very fucking soap opera.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. And then yours. Make them weather your minds. Make them mind your weather, sister. And make them weather your mind, Storm. I thought was a phenomenal fucking back and forth. And I love their relationship in the show.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those things where
Very
it's like
sisterly and
Storm is there. She's always been there.
She even calls her sister.
Right.
Yeah, right. But it always felt like for me, like Storm just sat in her room until action was about to happen. Everybody else was doing something. Jean, Wolverine, and Cyclops had a thing. Gambit and Rogue had a thing.
Yeah.
Jubilee was out doing whatever she did. Charles Xavier and Beast sometimes. Beast is all up in his shit, doing whatever he does. And then fucking Storm is just like, she's just me. She's sitting in a room staring at a piece of toast, waiting for somebody to call. It's time to podcast. And then she fucking flies out the window and she shows up.
Is that how you get
here? That's how I get here. I get carried on the wind.
You command the elements.
Yeah, I'm carried on the wind. But this actually gave her some personality. It gave her some, like, you're like, okay, these people mean a lot to each other.
Right.
You feel it. I don't know. Storm was always as awesome as she was. She was just kind of off to the side.
I did like that scene too, where he morphs into Sabretooth and he grabs the beer and they start laughing and fighting. I thought, oh, that's cool.
It's really good at
I forgot about this one, honestly, and even if I could, there were too many great quotes that I didn't pay. I was just lost in this world, and I just didn't write them down. But there's so many of them. But I do love the name's Gambit. Remember it, and I like. To me, my X-Men. It's cool.
Yeah, and it comes a few times.
Oh, I got one. What were you expecting? Black leather.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Nice little play on the 2000 movie where Cyclops says, "What were you expecting? Yellow spandex."
Right.
We come full circle. Is it a circle? Yeah. Something like that.
We have come, and even with the Gambit line, which he said a couple of times in the original show, and there was only one time I ever really liked Cyclops in the original. It's when they get kidnapped and taken to the Savage Land, and then Cyclops shows up to save the day. And he's like, Sinister, I told you leave them alone. And he fucking hits him with the blast, and he beats Sinister. And I was like, oh, Cyclops is kind of cool. Never liked him ever again, though.
I did like him
after or
when
before.
He said, Storm, give him the forecast?
Give him the forecast.
He
was so good in this.
Yeah.
He was
excellent.
The character is so good in this.
I honestly like them all.
And it's the first time you hear Omega
Sunspot
level
I didn't know
Right.
enough about, so Sunspot just whined the whole time. But I figured, you got to have somebody to whine. There's always going to be one. But I liked everybody on the show.
Did we do too long, too short?
I just put too much
much
Shi'ar bullshit. Not enough Sinister.
Not enough Sinister.
Not enough Sinister.
I thought there was a good amount
there was a
of
good amount,
Sinister.
but I wanted more. I fucking love Mr. Sinister.
Yeah. He was used more in this than he was in the last series for sure.
He got a standalone episode. That's when the animation got kind of weird.
It got weird though, and
The
it wasn't.
animation got
And it was
weird.
before it was his origin story, and the animation got cheap. I don't know what happened, but it wasn't
weird.
looking good. And that was around the time where it was Wolverine and
I think they animated it in New Orleans.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what
that's what happened.
I guarantee.
Gambit and Leatherhead from the Ninja Turtles were the artists.
Did you do this one?
Too long, too short. I actually put scrapped. But that being said, I found some of the episodes went on a little too long for me. I know they were only 35 minutes, but at the 20-minute mark, I kept looking like, is this an extra long episode? And nope.
Some of them were like 43 minutes.
Yeah, but even the ones that were only 35, I kept finding myself
some of them,
going
the
at like
pacing
20
was
minutes
way...
and like, this should be over. It feels like it should have been over a while ago.
Yeah,
and I did that on more than a few of them. Yeah. Because I binged most of them this afternoon.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, why does it feel like it's dragging?
Yeah.
I didn't have that problem. I would take 14 more episodes.
Yeah.
That's what I put.
Not enough.
All right.
We have a different relationship.
I
with
think
the
so.
subject matter.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
So I totally
podcasting.
understand. But I would take 24 episodes of this fucking show in the season. But that's what everybody does now, right? 10 episodes.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then they give me 24, and I'm like, this season's way too fucking long.
Yeah.
And I get mad. So there's no way to win. I can't win.
Can't please everybody.
No.
Mark?
No, I'm with you, Tito. I could have used more. I liked the episodes. I thought they were fun, and definitely could have used a few more. Maybe not 24 episodes, but definitely a couple more to feature some more. I want to see more of what they do with some of the characters from the 90s show. The way they made Mr. Sinister twice as awesome, I want to see them do the same thing with some of the other X-Men characters, particularly the villains. Are they going to do more with Juggernaut? I'd like them to do more with Sabretooth. I was never a huge fan of Sabretooth's voice in the original. Yeah, I thought he sounded too wimpy.
Yeah,
too
like
wimpy and
taking a
cartoony.
fucking
He needs that deep kind of growly voice. And I'm hoping
for me.
Yeah,
I love
like
that.
the,
Love that shit.
So something like that. That's what I would have liked to have seen had they continued. But I'll still watch more. Doesn't matter.
Do you guys want to jump into the...
Wait.
Go ahead.
Do the next one, because the next one's Lee and Cushing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
this is easy.
Lee is Magneto, Cushing is Xavier,
Boom.
and Una is Siren.
Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
There we go. There we go. That's
Right?
I think
She's
we're
Scottish. That works. Siren's Scottish.
I'm the same as you, minus the Una. I
Yeah.
got Peter
Minus-
Cushing.
oh, yes, yeah.
I got Peter Cushing as Professor
Yeah.
X and Christopher Lee as Magneto.
Same.
Like, how did that movie?
I know.
That never get done. They never did anything like that. With, like the two of them.
sat
were
on the
perfect.
ship.
Well, they put the other two best friends,
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart.
No,
and,
that's true.
That's right.
Ian
Ian
McKellen.
McKellen.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which
The 2000s Christopher Lee.
I know exactly. But by that point, Cushing was long gone.
Yeah.
I'm dead now. I can't play this. I'm a corpse.
Did you do the same thing?
Christopher Lee was Sauron.
I didn't have one. I'll go with that one.
All right,
I always
works for
forget
you?
that one. Yeah, I didn't know what we were doing, what we weren't. And Una O'Connor as friggin' Jubilee, because that would be because that would just be.
Well, she does. She's
hysterical.
whiny.
It's
You're
only
gonna
the
play
trench
the
coat,
video
sir.
games? It's just a sparkle, sir.
It's just the trench coat.
Love me, Sunspot. Look at my glasses.
Let's go spend some of your money on me.
I'll tell you, I could have done with all that.
Yeah.
I am gonna. I like Jubilee. I don't have a problem with it, but I actually thought she didn't do a whole hell of a lot in this.
No.
They could have used. They could have used more. And I don't know. I feel like. And correct me if I'm wrong out there, X-Men fans, but I feel like she has not been used to her full potential. I feel like she has more power than anybody gives her on any show. Am I right or am I wrong?
It
Let me
appears
know.
to be. Well, she became a vampire at some point.
Of course she did.
Yeah.
Everybody becomes a vampire at some point. Army Hammer and no.
No, he was a cannibal.
Thank
That's
you.
hilarious.
Thank you.
Do you guys want to hit the Derek?
The new ones? Yeah.
Let's hit Derek.
Let's go
Let's
favorite
hit Derek.
episode.
Episode 2, Mutant Liberation begins. The UN hearing, that whole arc, just start to finish. Magneto had just taken over having to prove himself to them and prove himself to himself. Really, like just the whole idea that even he thought that it was a stupid idea, but he was kind of looking at it as a, now I'm in control of the X-Men at least. So, and Scott. The stuff between him and Scott in that episode was awesome.
Scott.
So, yeah, that one was my favorite.
Scotty doesn't know. I like the final episodes with the asteroid, even though it reminded me a lot of the finale of Avengers: Age of Ultron. I thought that this is where the series really picked up.
Yeah,
those episodes flew by for me.
Yeah, that's the three-parter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you get to fucking Bastion, who I never read any Bastion.
No, I mean,
stuff.
No, me either. I didn't know
Nimrod?
what the character was.
Nimrod. Was
Yeah.
it Nimrod?
Well, he's a
He
combination
was
of
an-
like
yeah, he was a
Nimrod,
combination of
Master
I honestly
Mold,
thought it
and
was the Purple Man
Seaman?
at first. I thought it was
Oh,
Kilgrave.
yeah.
Because they
interesting.
kept playing Purple People Eater.
Yeah.
That's right. Every
And
time
he
the
did
radio
look,
went on.
and he did look a little. I'm like, are they bringing Kilgrave into this?
Oh, that would've
Because
been
they
cool.
had done that in the '90s show.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, interesting. But it wasn't. It was Bastion. Read that book
All
one too many
along.
times. It was Bastion all along.
It was
Eating
Bastion
too many
all along,
apples.
son of a bitch. Yeah, I remember what he looked like from the books. I remember, Bastion. I never read any of his storylines, but I thought they did really well. Mine is Remember Me. I fucking love Gambit.
Yeah.
And that episode is just punching you in the face for 33 minutes. It's the Genosha story. It's the council at Genosha. It's Gambit. Nightcrawler comes back. They have the reality show happening. They're being interviewed. You have Scott cheating. This is my favorite part of the fucking series.
Oh, this is
Scott
weird.
cheats on Jean in his mind with another woman who is Jean,
Jean, I
and she
know.
catches them.
So is it
You don't
cheating?
get much more fucking
Yeah.
soap opera
Oh, I
than that,
know.
dude. That's ultimate soap opera shit. I was like, this is fucking amazing.
That's like psychological shit right
Yeah.
there, man.
I was like, she just caught them cheating. Oh no, they're in his head.
And she looks just like you.
And she-
I know.
She's got some of your memories.
So is it cheating? I don't think so.
No, I think it's just an extension of her.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
it's all her. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking Gambit and Rogue break up. Magneto dies. Fucking Gambit dies. You think Nightcrawler dies. Gambit walks up. He's still breathing.
Yep.
That episode was just nonstop for me. The scene with them dancing to whatever that song is, I thought was very cool.
Oh, when they were up in the air?
Yeah, and then they kiss, and she's like, "No, this isn't for me. Actually, turns out I don't want to be with you
Because you're old and creepy.
because you're old and creepy."
Right. This
Yeah.
feels weird.
Your loose skin and your
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
balls. It's gross.
No good.
Reese Witherspoon making out with Paul Newman or something like that. It doesn't work.
The Morlocks die, then fucking Gambit dies, and it ends with her like, "I can't feel you." After that
that was-
conversation that they have, where she
Right.
was like, I don't feel it. Literally, I
Right.
feel nothing. And as much as Gambit's such a fucking decent person. He's just like, I don't care. I fucking love you. I want to be around you. She's like, yeah, but we can't touch. I don't care. He doesn't care. He fucking loves her. It's amazing.
Oh, dude! And then when the
everything
episode,
in that show, and
when
that
it blacks
episode.
out and you hear her say, "I can't feel
can't
it." Oh,
feel you.
damn!
I
that
thought
hurts.
that episode, like,
What a
of
gut
all,
punch.
it was one of the first episodes of television I saw in a long time where I was like, fuck, I can't wait for next week.
That's why.
Where normally
glad
I'm
I
just like,
waited.
fuck, why are you making me wait for next week? You know, I was just like, oh, I can't wait the 7 days. That episode got me. It got me.
They got ya. Me, I'm gonna go with. I think it was it the end of episode or part one of oh god, the 3-parter at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The extinct. The hell was it called? It
I
was in
forget
my
what it's
head.
called.
Each one had a different name, I believe.
No, they all had the.
Yeah.
It was a
Part
great
one,
name
part two,
too.
part three.
It's, help me out.
Tolerance Extinction?
Yeah,
Tolerance is Extinction.
Tolerance is Extinction.
Part 1,
Either
2,
the
and
end of
3.
definitely part 1 and part 2, when they do this whole Manchurian Candidate thing and people start turning into frickin' human sentinels who don't know they've been turned.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved that idea. I think it was the greatest thing in this whole cartoon when Sebastian was like, "Yep, they don't know who they are, but they're gonna." And then people around the mutants start to, you don't know which one's gonna be
Right.
one. It was very Stranger Things season 3 when the people all fell under that mind control or whatever it was.
Yeah, yeah,
Remember
yeah,
when
yeah.
you didn't know who
The
people...
goopy monster thing is like infecting
they
everyone.
randomly
Yes.
started calling people and
goopy.
then but what they did here was much better. And this is what I thought we were going to get in Stranger Things 3, a bunch of creepy monster people. Instead, they just turned into a giant blob, and that was ridiculous. But this did
Yeah.
it right. This was
You can't tell if their
amazing.
bones are snapping or it's the robotics that are like moving.
They just look
Because
terrifying.
even the mom is just like,
Uh-huh.
and she's like, her
Yeah,
neck's
and what's
going
his
all
name?
crazy.
Butler. 1 minute normal, the next minute, boom.
Yeah.
Zombie sentinels is what they were, and it was fantastic. Definitely my favorite
And
part.
pretty fucking unstoppable.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It took a
Even when you cut
lot.
their
It
heads
took
off, they kept
Magneto to
coming.
magnetize the world
Yeah.
to stop him.
That was,
Yeah, that was my favorite episode. And I, particular Tolerance is Extinction, part 1 and 2. 3 was a good ending, but That hit me. I was like, oh shit, we're getting Manchurian Candidate. Awesome.
You had a least favorite episode?
Yeah, episode 6, Life, Death, Part 2. It was very Shara-centric.
That's mine.
Is it?
Fuck those boring fucks.
And I feel like, Brian, is that one of the ones that felt like forever? It was taken forever?
Which one was it?
Episode 6,
when
the
Professor
Shire
X,
one.
and they're debating as to whether or not he's going to marry her.
That was taking too long for me, too. There was a few storylines that went a little too long for me.
I would have liked if Life or Death was just the one episode about Storm and Forge. But yeah, the Shi'ar is so fucking boring. They're so boring.
They are. They are.
Fucking bird people.
Yeah.
Please.
Gladiator with the mohawk.
You know what else?
Yeah.
Their love story is so fucking boring.
Yeah,
also.
I've never liked it.
Like, nobody gives a shit if you guys like each other. There are better love stories in this fucking show.
Now, see, I'm
Team Moira anyway.
I got
Team
excited
Moira.
when Gladiator showed up because I thought that they were bringing in the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, right.
You know, and I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. They're out in space.
Yeah.
They're bringing in the original,
That would've been kinda cool.
the original
Yeah.
Guardians.
Oh, that would be nice if they did that. No, just a fucking Shi'ar guard.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed too is, you know how the shape of her helmet thing or her hair thing?
Yeah.
is, right?
Yeah.
There's a, I want to say.
It looked like Peacemaker's toilet seat helmet.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. They do. You're right.
Well, no, there's an old cartoon that was on Nickelodeon. It was one of those from another country, and they bought the rights and
Overdubbed it.
Yeah, the Cities of Gold. And if you Google a picture, like there's a female character. It always reminded me of that. But yeah, that's not the reason why I didn't like it. I just don't like the Shire.
Which one are we on?
Least
favorite
favorite
episode? Matendo, Life, Death, Part 1.
I didn't like that one.
That was one with Jubilee and the video game, and
Yeah.
it was also the beginning of the
Storm and
the
Forge.
Storm and Forge thing,
Yeah.
which I think went on too long.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Storm
I
and
didn't
Forge stuff.
like that. I thought that was all boring.
Yeah.
And the Forge thing, he's part robot, part
Yeah.
android.
Yeah,
He gets injured, but he's got a bandage on his robot leg. Why?
He's leaking
Oh,
oil.
I didn't even notice that.
I saw that.
It was to hold the oil in.
I'm like, stupid.
Well, he's all
Need an
human
oil
except
can.
for his leg and his hand.
And his shoulder is human.
Yeah,
right? Where
because
the
that's where he got
demon
bit by
bites
the
down
demon.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw that he was like lying in bed and he was dealing with his demon wound, and I'm like, he's got a fucking bandage on his robot leg. What the hell is?
It was
It was
holding the oil.
seeping into the rest of them.
Yeah.
Robots need time to heal too.
I guess I just found that funny and odd. But
Yours
yeah,
was
that whole episode, that was my least favorite one.
Yeah, mine was Life or Death Part 2. I should be excited to see Professor X. I wasn't. I wasn't.
Especially walking around like a fucking tool.
Walking around in his fucking suit.
He's a fraud.
Yeah.
He's a phony. This guy's a big phony.
Make him return his handicap placard in his car.
I should have liked Ronan the Accuser. I should have liked that stuff.
Right,
And
yeah,
and the
yeah.
Kree, but I
Yep.
just didn't. Right now, I'm just not interested in that part of the galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm more
Well,
interested
that's why
in
I
what
thought
the
we were
X-Men
getting
are
the
doing.
Guardians when I saw Ronan there with the fucking
Yeah.
hammer and everything. I was like, oh.
Nope.
And it's the 90s, so they're bringing back the original team. It's
Right.
way before Star-Lord.
Not yet.
No dice.
Maybe
Well,
maybe season
Yeah.
2. Who knows?
I didn't love it, but I did love the second part of the
Yeah.
Storm Forge storyline.
I don't like Mojo. I don't like Mojo.
No, I didn't either.
I don't like Mojo. I didn't like him in the other series.
I
I'm
didn't like
just
his
not
voice.
a fan of him. It's freaking
Tito
annoying.
was making fun of somebody earlier, and it reminded me of Mojo's voice.
Oh, Sabretooth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sabretooth.
Yeah.
We talk about Sabretooth.
So that was just kind of a filler episode, and I didn't need that. I didn't hate Life or Death Part 2. It's fine, whatever, but I can see why people wouldn't like it. It's not the best episode.
I love Mojo, and I love Mojo World. I like Longshot. I like Spiral. I like
Oh, I
Shatterstar.
did. I
So
forgot
I
about
like
Longshot.
all of those characters. So
I just don't like him.
it became like he took over for Arcade, I guess, because Arcade got kind of fucking coot. Like,
Yeah.
Arcade's a fucking lame ass character. But yeah, I could see why people didn't like it, but it's very niche for me because I like Longshot and because I like Shatterstar so much.
I did like the 16-bit part of it, but I was hoping they'd play
Yeah.
the game, the arcade game, and they'd come
Yeah.
across the blob, and the blob would go, "Nothing moves the blob." Perfect opportunity.
Totally.
Completely wasted, man.
I did like that how when Jubilee met herself. Like, that was cool.
See, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're
I did
meeting
too.
yourself.
Older her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played by the original actress.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
With her expanded powers.
Oh.
Because then when you're like, oh, that's what
That's
she could
right.
do, given some
Right.
time. That's why I like about mutant powers is they can be as good or as bad as you want them to be.
Right.
If you keep at it, you'll be fucking unstoppable.
Right.
If you don't, you'll fucking keep throwing fireworks.
Yeah. Come on, Jubilee.
You got a throwaway episode?
That would have been
a Jubilee story.
Sorry.
Yeah. I just it
Motendo?
didn't really advance the story. It didn't really do anything. It was just kind of filler.
Yeah, I'm going with the Nintendo Life Death one,
Yeah.
same as my last answer. Yeah, I could have done without that one, so that's my throwaway episode as well.
I actually don't like the Bright Eyes episode. I don't like Cap and his
Yeah.
appearance.
Oh, okay.
I don't like Sunspot and any of that shit with his mom. I don't like that Rogue kills Trask. It fucking, it's like too much. It's too much for me. But not a.
Although
Motendo probably, if you're gonna throw one of them away, Motendo's the one to throw.
Yeah. I got to go with that too. Motendo's a throwaway episode.
Character with too much screen time.
Morph.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I'm sorry.
No.
I never liked him. He's okay in this. He's a little bit. He's better than he used to be, but there's just too much. It's like overkill with the little comedy act with him. He's very sarcastic, and he's just like the class clown. And after a while, the class clown gets annoying. So.
Oh, I thought he was so much better than the original series.
I did too.
I thought they fleshed him. I thought.
Oh no,
fleshed
they
everybody
definitely
out
did.
more.
No, and I'm glad they
tired of
did. I'm glad they made him I guess more he's multiple dimension character, I guess. But
Yeah, there was more detail
right
in his character, even though he had no face.
Less
Right.
face,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I could have used more chummy Wolverine morph stuff. Really, I thought it was a lot of fun.
There's a little banter.
There's
back
not,
there every
there's
once in
not
a while,
enough.
but-
There was
yeah.
not enough of that. He was just kind of hanging around in the hallway for a lot of it until he morphed into other characters.
The kids in the hall.
Yeah, he was season 4 Flash, hanging out in the hallway while Iris did all the work.
The one that I thought had too much screen time was Storm.
Yeah.
I didn't care for her entire storyline, her arc there. You know she's going to get her powers back. Why are we following her on this spiritual journey kind of thing? It just went nowhere.
It's like Deanna Troi
She comes
when
back
she
with
lost
her
her
powers.
powers.
She's got a new costume, new hairstyle.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
I wanted to see her in like the punk rock with the mohawk.
Well,
That's
she's
what she had.
In
She
the,
had
in
the
the bar,
mohawk.
No,
in the
no,
bar
but
she
like-
wears the she's wearing the vest.
Oh,
when
she
Forge
does wear the
meets her
vest.
in
Yeah.
the bar, she's wearing that.
Yeah,
that
everybody
costume.
everybody on the show
Yeah,
had about
that's
4 or
true.
5 different costume changes too. They even showed Rogan
It's
or
very
Savage
soap
Land,
opera.
costume at the
it's
beginning.
Very soap opera.
It is very soap opera. That's what I'm saying. Rogue changed her hair and costume by the end.
I know, I love the Jean
Wolverine
wore
was
the
back in
Marvel
the
girl.
in the brown costume.
That was cool looking.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was
Yep.
I like Rogue's old costume is now her new costume because she
Yeah.
does that in the comic now too,
Yeah.
with the green and white.
Yeah.
Mine is Professor X and Lalandra. Get them the fuck off my TV. Dude, he's so.
Yeah, boring.
I understand the importance of Professor X. Not a Professor X fan.
No.
I'm not really a Magneto fan either. He's just there to get the team together.
with
when he's
with very pink lips.
Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah,
see
I noticed that
pink
too.
lips.
Dude, I don't want to
And
see
very
him and
pale.
Lalandra. I don't want to see him talking, kissing, none of that shit. They are so boring.
Yeah.
Is that the way they were drawn back in the 90s?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Because I didn't go
No,
back and rewatch
Magneto-
those.
His mouth?
Magneto-
Yeah, his
had
mouth. He
very
had
Oh, I
very
didn't
pink
notice.
lips.
Oh,
I
I didn't
noticed that
notice.
too.
I didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
he had this like kind of.
Yeah, next time you watch it, Tito, look out for pink lips and the bandage on Forge's leg.
Yeah, I gotta, that one for sure. I'm looking for.
He had kind of a Ziggy Stardust thing going. His skin was very white. And, yeah.
Boring.
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 There's a lot of Jean Grey. I know.
She's boring too.
There's a lot of Jean
no.
Grey. Yeah,
She's like
and
a yeah, she's just like
and
a
I
catalyst
get
for
the
me.
whole reason why she is, and I know that the story with the son.
She was so much better in this than the originally.
She is better.
Because in the original, it was like all she was like Xavier's little
Pet.
like,
I
puppet
know.
pet.
I prefer that version of her.
You do?
Do you really?
Although I think she's more fleshed out and more interesting.
She's more fleshed out in this one,
I
but
think they're better
there's a
characters.
lot of a lot of it.
There's a
And
lot of.
Well, I mean, there's two of her,
It
so
just-
it's,
yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah, that didn't
You get
help
a- you
either.
get a little
That
double.
Jean Grey was cute.
I like. I like
thought that was
Madeline
awesome.
King. Madeline Pryor.
was fine.
I did like Madeline.
But
Pryor.
there was that's
yeah,
mine.
I never
sorry.
been a big Jean Grey fan. myself, so.
Sorry, not sorry. It was
No.
Reese's Pieces.
She's like Professor X to me. She's like a catalyst,
Yeah.
right? She's usually at the center of a thing.
Yeah.
Professor X is
all the
bald
more
though.
interesting
I root
characters
for
can
fellow
revolve around
bald
her.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah. You can't
Not-
have it. You can't have
you
a love
know.
triangle without Jean Grey.
you can't.
No, I don't need the love triangle. I didn't really need the sun thing. But Cable was cool. I don't know that. Yeah.
Especially the way it ended.
Nathan.
Come on, let's go.
Nathan Summers.
And the future now. Come on.
All right. Yeah.
And then Rachel Summers
But
shows up in the end.
You could have told that and like just just kept going on, and then Jean with Storm, and Jean with this. And
Did you
Jean
know?
with
Oh,
that.
so did you know that Cable was Scott and Madeline Pryor's kid?
See, I did not.
So you're surprised while you're watching that?
Yes.
Okay, so even
that's
when I
cool.
watched the original series, I was like, I wonder when they're gonna recognize each other,
right?
Or he's gonna make mention of the fact that he's Scott's son, and it never happens in the original.
I did like that.
I was just curious. Because
But
I would have liked. To
I don't
have been
know.
you
I guess,
watching
but
it.
I guess it's good. Like it didn't become the Wolverine show. They focused on other characters that were.
It's true.
In the background, but she was just the one that seemed always there. Let's
He's
put it that way.
coming.
Yeah.
Who? Apocalypse? The baby. That was such a fucking stupid scene. That was very. I loved it. Though.
Yeah,
Dude, I thought
I
Wolverine
love that
was going to have to deliver the baby. The
Oh, me
same
too.
way,
Just fucking-
the same
the
way
doctor-
Worf had to deliver Chief O'Brien's wife's baby.
Keiko.
Yeah, I
Slit
thought
her open and fucking.
you
yank
had
that thing
you had
out.
some great. Yeah, I'll cut the cords. Because you get the dickhead doctor that
that
won't
would
do
perform the
it,
operation on
and
a
then
mutant.
Rogue absorbs the power. No, just Wolverine. You can.
And then she's like, "Give me 5 cc's stat."
How come Morph couldn't turn himself into a doctor and then have all the powers of a doctor?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Worf wasn't there.
It's learned though.
I
You
know,
have to
but I'm
learn
just
that.
saying.
Wasn't there.
That's
They
the kind of
couldn't get
bullshit
Morph
powers
into
that he has.
He needs to learn it. They already have it, right?
No, I still maintain he can only hold the shape for a very short amount of. Because if you can turn into Juggernaut, why not stay as Juggernaut through the whole battle?
Right.
It's got to be like a fart. He can only do it
Only
for a
for
few
so long.
seconds. Yeah.
I'm holding this one in.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Character that deserves their own episode.
I put Bishop because I think Bishop is badass, and I feel like he's
I agree.
always underutilized.
Even in this
and-
one, he was in it for what, an episode
right,
and a half? And
right.
then
And I mean,
disappeared
it looks like season 2 he's going to be a bigger part, thankfully. But like, I love Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Is he
So
from
do
the
I.
same future as Cable?
Not as far.
No, not as far.
Okay.
He's because he knows Forge,
Right.
And they do like a thing where he calls him by his name, like he recognizes him because he's so Forge isn't like a million. He's like older, so it's kind of like 40. I think 40 years in the future or something.
So like young Bishop exists in this timeline
Right.
as a kid.
Right,
I
as a
gotcha.
kid Bishop.
Lucas Bishop is one running around and he hasn't discovered his powers.
Okay.
yet.
Right.
So that makes him like a cardinal, an altar boy?
Oh yeah, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah. He's being preyed upon as we speak.
Oh, look at this guy.
You like that?
Wow, on a roll.
He's on fire
Once
tonight.
his power comes out, then he's gonna
Fucking Human Torch over
He's
here.
gonna make them all pay. Make them all pay. Brian, is there a character that you would like to see?
Nightcrawler was always a favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see more Nightcrawler, man.
Definitely.
I loved him when he was in Excalibur. That was the X-Men comic that I read regularly as a
That was such a
younger
odd.
guy.
It was
Him
like Captain
and
Britain,
Megan.
Megan,
Britain.
Megan, right?
Megan
Shadowcat.
and Rachel Summers.
Right.
Rachel Summers
Yep,
in
yep,
that.
yep.
fucking
Kitty Pryde and
Lockheed.
Lockheed.
Yeah, no, it was a great group of misfits.
Yeah.
That's what I loved. It was the outcasts of the outcasts.
Yep.
It was such a cool book. And Alan Davis's artwork was just mwah, chef's kiss. Loved it. Loved it.
I got if Cable's in the show, I would love an X-Force episode.
Yeah.
Domino,
Boom Boom.
Boomer, Sunspot, fucking Warpath, all those cats.
Yeah.
I would love to see an because they all kind of appear randomly. Boom Boom's in the Genosha scene. I don't know if she died there.
That big dude with the.
Oh, strong guy.
Strong guy.
So that's X Factor.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
X Factor, yeah.
With the John Lennon sunglasses?
Yeah. So the thing that always killed me about the X-Men that it got to a point where I was like, well, you have the same power as the other guy's power, only your power is like only a little bit different.
Yeah.
Well, that's
strong
why they
guy
all
can
went
do
to,
what Bishop can do.
Yeah, that's why they all went to Young Blood. Eventually,
Only he just gets stronger
They were all Liefeld characters.
to the point
Yeah.
where his heart explodes.
He's stealing from himself after a while.
He
Yeah,
did. Yeah,
right,
He's
yeah.
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 And they all had Wolverine.
I had
Yeah.
Youngbloods number 0, baby. I was on board. They all
I
looked
do
exactly
too.
the fucking same.
It's there somewhere.
Yeah. And then there was one of the is it GW Briggs? He was in Youngbloods and he was on Cable's futuristic team, Six Pack, Wild Pack, something like that.
I have no idea.
There was a character that was
that
in
one.
both comics at the same time at some point. Liefeld. Yeah. You got a characters?
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. Yeah.
Great character. Wasn't used enough in the original series. It was awesome in X2.
One episode in that.
Yeah, I liked in Wolverine and the X-Men. He was in it more, but still could have been in it more. Yeah, he's such an awesome character.
He is.
And definitely him.
As someone I'm not particularly religious. The way that they incorporate his faith into his character is done so fucking well.
Yeah.
Right.
And
it never gets boring in preaching.
It doesn't get no. It doesn't.
It's
Not
philosophical.
even a little bit.
Except when he becomes a preacher at the funeral.
Yeah, except for that point.
But that's fine.
That is quite literally preaching.
I know.
But even then, it wasn't one of those God is good. God, you know.
No, he accepts. He accepts. I mean, right? Everyone's having to be accepting of him, but he is extremely accepting of everyone around him, and sees like good in every single person that he comes across.
He's
it's just
very
a great,
forgiving.
Great character. Spin-off show.
I was gonna originally say Bishop and Forge Buddy Time Cop show, but that actually might happen for season 2. So, so I put Beast and Nightcrawler solving mutant-related mysteries, and it's called Blue's Clues.
I like that.
Fun. I like that too.
Mystique shows up and
they all have sex. Oh no, Nightcrawler's.
I don't think they can do that.
Nightcrawler's
soap
mom.
opera.
Yeah. If we're going back to the Mac and Me states, they could. Yeah.
That's his mom. That's his mom. It's his mom.
It's mum. What's he do? Nibble your mum. Look at the bones.
You get a spinoff?
I really didn't, but after just talking about Nightcrawler, I would love to see them do an Excalibur show.
Yeah.
Spun off of this.
Yeah.
Sure. If you're going to give Nightcrawler his own episode, give him his own show.
Yeah.
Team him up with Rachel Summers and bring Captain Britain into it. Why not? You got Psylocke is his sister. She can come on board too.
Yeah, she was in a couple episodes.
Yeah.
Or at least they showed her a couple times. I don't know what this show is. It's called The Adventures of Bishop or Cable. I don't care which one gets the show. Just give them one. And they both time travel, so let them fucking time travel wherever the fuck they want to time travel to. It writes
time
itself.
cops.
It writes itself.
Right.
It really does.
Totally.
I don't care. One of them, both of them, sometimes none of them. I don't know. I love it. I love both those characters so fucking much. You got a show?
Yeah, I can't remember. Wolverine's team that it was from, Alpha Flight.
Alpha Flight.
Alpha Flight. I'd like a spin-off of that show. The Canadians. I want some Canadian superheroes, man. I want to see Wendigo. Well, Wendigo was the villain. I want to see Sasquatch. All those guys, man.
Puck
Bring them,
Shaman.
bring them on.
Didn't a few...
Because they did. No, not in the. It wasn't really in the show, was it? Was it? Did they show up in the
They
show?
did Alpha
They
Flight
showed
show.
up in
Yeah.
the-
They
right.
convinced Wolverine to come back to
Yes,
Canada.
that's what it was. I
to join
remember
the group.
reading it in the Days of Future Past graphic novel they did to fight Wendigo, actually. So I'd like to see that. And I just because I'm such a fan of the animation on this show, I want to see what they can do with more monsters. Wendigo and Sasquatch are monsters, and bring in Sabretooth because that's the kind of stuff I like. I like my men hairy.
Didn't a few of them are in the that Immortal Hulk series.
Yeah.
Right?
They all
Because they're
go.
called Gamma Flight.
And then they come back. Some of them
Yeah.
are now they're hunting them. Damn Hulk.
Yeah.
Do we want to see if this makes Mark's rotation?
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, I would guess.
Whatever happened to?
Morph. Oh, wait, no. Wait, hold on. Whatever happened to? Did I didn't put that one. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Whatever happened to...
X-Men
no.
cartoons.
I don't
In
know.
the
I like that one.
2000s.
No.
All right.
Scrapped. I scrapped that one.
Scrapped it.
I scrapped it too.
No, I go. Whatever happened to good cartoon themes?
Da-da-da-da-da.
We don't
And
have them anymore.
I love that the Newton brothers took it and then they incorporate the actual... Because they never used the main theme in the show before, right?
Yes, they did. Pilot
Did they?
the first episode when they saved Jubilee in the mall. They're playing the music, I believe.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it did happen.
Because
a
this,
couple
it's
times.
very like underlying throughout the whole series. But
And
Oh
I
yeah,
Cable
when they're
always
trying
had
to
his
stop.
own-
Oh yeah, the piano version.
Yeah.
When they're trying to stop Asteroid M. Beautiful.
yeah.
Cable always had his own music too. and
Yeah.
They touch on it a little bit in the.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Kevin Feige, his only two demands for this show was that you get the original, as much as the original cast as you could back to do the voices.
Yeah.
And you have to obtain the rights to the theme
Caldod.
song.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Like it has to be in there. So
Yeah, but now there just doesn't seem to be any cool ones nowadays. There's nothing that you can go back. Like you can't get a YouTube compilation of modern cartoon themes. What do you got, Bluey? That's about it, and that's a kid show.
Yeah, there really aren't that. Nothing memorable.
Well,
that
you don't
wanna
have
sing along
you
to
don't
when
have
you watch it.
Thundercats themes anymore, GI Joe themes, Transformers. The themes were awesome, and X-Men did it very well.
Yes.
Great
You
theme.
know. Considering they didn't have a movie to work off of like Batman the
Right.
Animated Series did,
Right.
X-Men at the time had to come up with that all by its lonesome. There was no other template.
Absolutely.
And it's phenomenal.
I got a Juggernaut or Colossus. Whatever happened to? I need one of those two guys to be in the next season.
Yeah, I miss Colossus.
I would like one of those two characters in the
Yes.
next
Yeah.
season. How does it stack up?
Yeah, Juggernaut's not looking for his brother.
It's
or
not
half
as good
brother.
as the original series yet, but it's just starting. But I think the first 2 episodes were so good that it only went downhill for me. Not downhill, but it went down from there. Like those two.
It started strong, but didn't end as strong for you.
Right, and those two were so good that I was measuring every episode up against those.
But how does it
But now
measure
that
up against
we've
other
talked
cartoons?
about it, I think there are a few more that are really, really strong episodes. So you're right.
I didn't say anything.
No. No, like
I've just been sitting here. You're just pointing at me. Brian was talking.
No,
We know what you're
I'm
thinking.
talking.
Throw your voice. Fool your friends. Loads of laughs.
But yeah, no, I don't think that all the aspects that I loved from the original show were quite exceeded.
Yeah. What about like the other X-Men animated series? You seen any of those?
I like it. Yeah,
Evolution,
Evolution's my favorite.
Yeah.
Only because I like the style. I like what they did with some of the characters. And what's funny is that I forget what movie it was. There's either a movie or a TV show that has
Buffy the Vampire
Slayer, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
the dance scene.
Is like shot for shot the opening of
X-Men
friggin'
Evolution.
X-Men Evolution.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say it's second. No, no, third, because the next one would be I wasn't really a big fan of Wolverine and the X-Men. That one was my least favorite of those shows.
Jumping back and forth.
thought it was
Yeah, I
great.
liked it too.
But
Actually, Professor X can walk in that one too.
yeah, fuck him. Screw you, Charles.
You got fancy robot legs. Lieutenant Dan got new legs. I don't know what the problem is. He got magic legs. Lieutenant Dan, you got magic legs.
Bubba Gump.
Brian, what about you? What do you
titanium.
stack it up?
It stacks up. I think it's up there. I thought the animation was top notch. I can only compare it to like other cartoons from the era that it's supposed to be from. I mean, this is again supposed to be from the 90s, so it's close to Batman the Animated Series. Nothing can top that though.
No, true.
There were Avengers and Iron Man and Spider-Man cartoons back then. This is up there with that, if not better. So it's up there. It's high.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of the better X-Men series as far as other cartoon superhero shows. Yeah, I would probably go Batman ahead of this. I think this is better than like the shit that came out in the 90s. I think it's better than the Iron Man cartoon. I think it's better.
Is it better than Spider-Man?
I think it's on the same. It might be neck and neck. I haven't seen Spider-Man in a long time though. But I think it's better than the Ghost Rider cartoon they had. I think it's better than the Hulk cartoon. I think it's better than the Fantastic Four cartoon that they had. It's fucking better than that Silver Surfer cartoon that they had.
I remember that briefly.
Ultimate Spider-Man though is one of my favorite cartoons to come out in a long time, and this is probably close to that.
Nice.
Which one was Ultimate?
It's,
That wasn't the one on MTV, was it?
No, it was the one with the team. It was
With
done
Nova,
by Man of
right?
Action. Nova's in it.
Oh, okay.
Luke Cage is in it. Iron Fist is in it. But yeah, and then they incorporate all the Spider people in it at some point. Yeah, he joined Shield essentially.
Oh,
Yeah, it's fucking.
It is a good
Was
show.
that on
It's
Disney
very
XD?
funny. Yeah,
I think it was a Disney XD
It
show.
was. Yeah.
yeah, it's really.
so that it's
funny.
probably on there then, right?
It is.
Yeah, it's on Disney.
All
Plus.
right, I'll
Yeah,
check it
yeah,
out.
for
It's
sure.
a good
Ultimate
watch.
Spider-Man. It's fun. Post credit.
It,
Oh, I'm sorry. Does
Oh,
it
yeah,
stack
yeah.
up? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's up there for me with everything. It's below Batman the Animated Series, but I kind of have Derek's opinion on the 90s show. The 90s show starts strong with me, but after season 1, the rest of it goes downhill. It goes downhill in quality and storytelling for me. I think this one's much better paced. I think it starts strong. There are a couple of slower episodes in the middle, and I think it finishes on a high note. I think it's better than the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s. The Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s, there was stuff about it that always bothered me. It seemed to rush through dialogue and story. And while the animation was good, everybody would talk really fast, and it would cut from a scene. There was no time for anybody to pause, or there was really no drama to it. It was just one right after the other. So that always bothered me a little bit. But it's better than half of the other Marvel cartoons that I saw. I think it's better than Wolverine and the X-Men, although Wolverine and the X-Men come close. I haven't seen Evolution yet. I'm a huge fan of the Justice League cartoon too. So
I didn't even think about that. Unlimited is also really good too.
If we're going DC, it's still a little bit below Justice League, especially the later seasons of Justice League Unlimited.
I love Unlimited.
But for Marvel shows, it's at the top.
Marvel's never stacked up very well against DC animation.
This does pretty damn close.
No, it does.
Yeah.
It does. They're
Totally
making
does.
great strides.
I would agree, though. Even their animated films, like
Right.
the Marvel animated films, I've never really enjoyed.
But
DC
this one,
show's
I think,
fantastic.
is on par with the DC stuff. The battle with Mr. Sinister alone is right up there as when Superman takes down Darkseid. I mean, that's just an awesome battle, and the X-Men fighting Sinister in this is just as good, I think.
You had a post-credit?
No. The one that they have is pretty good. I just could have done without Apocalypse. I would maybe have changed it to like, if you're gonna allude to another character for the season 2, I wish they had. I'm not a big Apocalypse fan.
Not an Apocalypse fan.
Not him. I like the whole idea of the Four Horsemen. So like Archangel, obviously super cool.
Yeah.
But
I saw half the movie.
Did you?
I'm trying to work through it.
Yeah.
I hate Apocalypse in that movie.
Yeah, he's not great.
Though that Four Horsemen suck.
He's so
It's
boring.
weak.
Yeah, but I do like Apocalypse in the cartoon. I thought
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, so.
I love the Apocalypse.
Sorry to interrupt.
Bri?
I had nothing.
No.
No. I thought the post-credit scene they had in Egypt with Apocalypse's origin was fine.
I love it. I love Apocalypse, and I love them going into the future with the Ascani and Rachel Summers and whatever's going to happen there. Very excited.
I could have used like Professor X calling Colossus and some of the other ones we haven't seen to come to the mansion.
Dude, that would have been cool if he was like, "Come to me, my X-Men," and then other random X-Men showed up. That would have been fucking
something
sweet.
like that.
Yeah.
But I thought it ended fine too, and I love the nice little. I love how Omega Red's awoken.
Yeah.
He doesn't do a whole.
When all the power shut off.
All the power shut, and I'm like, oh shit, yes, please bring Omega Red.
And it's also cool when you see like him with Red Dynamo and something Star, the other Russian blonde woman who was in the Omega Red episode, and they're about to fight the fucking zombie Sentinels too. So it's like I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's got to be a good guy for a second. Oh, that's
Oh,
not
he's
really
gotta
good.
stay
He's
alive.
just defending himself.
Yeah,
he's
he's
just
trying to
got to
stay
be
alive.
alive. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with saving the X-Men.
Better ending?
I liked the ending, but I would have liked to see them introduce some more students previewing season 2. New students coming in.
recruits, which they did in the high school one.
Right.
Why am I?
Right.
Can't I remember
Evolution.
Evolution.
Yeah.
Because they brought the New Mutants in at
Right.
like season 2, I think. Better end, Brian?
No.
You're okay
No.
with it?
Yep. I'm fine.
Yeah, me too. I got nothing for that one.
No, I thought it ended great.
If you like this, you might also like
X-Men Evolution, X-Men, Wolverine and the X-Men, Batman the Animated Series, and Gargoyles.
Yeah, I've got the original 92 to 97 series from Fox, the Batman the Animated Series, and any of the movies that came out between 2000 and now.
Oh, I like that. Animated series. Oh, Batman. Avatar: The Last Airbender, 90s Spider-Man, and the new He-Man Revolution and Resurrection. I thought were great. Like revitalizations of an older IP. So
Especially the second one, Revelations.
especially the second one.
Revelations, part 2 of that.
The one with
is
extra Skeletor.
Extra
Yeah.
Skeletor.
Extra
Yeah. Have I said that before? I love
No,
my
yeah,
Skeletor.
there's a lot of Skeletor in that one.
There's a lot of He-Man too.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Yeah, I would go with that. And because of 90s cartoons, I'm gonna say watch Mighty Max because I just thought of a cartoon I'd
Mighty
like to
Max.
see more of. Mighty
Holy
Max,
shit.
the cartoon.
I don't know if I know Mighty Man.
Oh,
Little
Mighty
kid
Max
with like
based on these like toys.
It was like the Polly Pocket for boys.
It was.
Right? It was like a little thing. You
yes.
opened it up and.
Oh, that's
All
not the
right.
one I'm thinking of.
No,
That was the
you don't
toy, but the
remember
cartoon
guy?
was
It's
the
what's
kid.
his name?
Max.
Yakko from Animaniacs. Who does the voice?
Rob Paulson.
Rob Paulson.
Oh.
Rob Paulson.
Voices Mighty
Yakko or
Max.
Wacko?
Yakko.
Okay.
Yep. He's got the backwards hat that teleports him to all the places around the world. And
Oh yeah, not who I was thinking of.
oh, it's awesome.
That's the one. I was
Other
thinking
than that, all the animated stuff you guys mentioned,
Yeah.
you know, obviously, watch superhero cartoons. They're great.
Yeah.
Check out the movies, Marvel and DC. Don't fall for this Pepsi Coke kind of bullshit. They're all awesome. Go.
Coke is bad, but yeah, I agree.
Coke.
But if you
agree.
ordered Coke in a restaurant and they didn't have it, would you scoff at the Pepsi?
No.
No,
They
I bet.
offer
Give me
you
Pepsi.
instead? No, see?
No, I would.
Everybody drinks both.
Now when I go, I say, give me Coke or Pepsi, whatever you have.
Not me. I'm not drinking Pepsi.
You just spit it back in their face.
Yeah. Have you ever tasted? It tasted like somebody spit Coke back out into the damn glass.
What is this
And
swill?
made it cold.
It's Coke swill.
Chilled Coke swill. Could I have my Coke swill chilled, please? Did you award for what are you doing in the show?
Yeah, this is the one I had more of. Because for some, I said for some reason, but now now it's been confirmed. I thought they killed him off in the original series.
Yeah.
So I was like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here, Gutty?
Yeah, I got one. And this is the best one of them all. Fucking Mary Jane and Peter Parker. Watching the fucking everything go down on TV. I was like, this is fucking awesome. 90s Mary Jane and Peter Parker. Watching the fucking the world come to an end. I thought that was so fantastic.
That had a good theme too.
Yeah. Who was Peter? No.
Peter Parker was voiced by Greg Brady. Christopher Barnes.
Christopher Barnes. That's who. Yeah.
Christopher Daniel Barnes. Greg Brady from the Brady Bunch movies.
Oh, from the movies.
Yeah,
okay.
from the movies. Not Greg Brady from the show. Not Barry Williams. No.
Not that guy. Not that guy again.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that's not the guy that played Greg Brady.
Do you have? What are you doing in this?
No, I didn't.
No?
I knew what everybody was doing in there because it's the Marvel universe.
I know, but you weren't surprised to see fucking 90s
Cloak and Dagger?
Spider-Man.
I get
Mary
Cloak
Jane.
and Dagger. I was surprised at. Oh, that's kind of out of left field. I guess why the Hulk and Spider-Man they were all pretty big.
But those were just cameos.
But those were like big cameos. But
Yeah.
even the Cloak and Dagger cameo was like out of left field. It's like,
Oh,
oh
that
yeah,
was
I
pretty
haven't
cool.
thought about Cloak and Dagger in a long time. So
Great
I'll
skill
go with
set,
that
the
one.
two of them.
Yeah.
Not since
I don't know.
that TV show that was on about 5 years ago. Didn't they have a Cloak and Dagger?
yeah, it
They
was on
did.
that.
Yeah.
Oh
Very
yeah, the
briefly.
the Hulu
It was
one.
this
on
Disney
Hulu.
channel that was for like young adults.
FX.
No, it was like a
No.
young adult Disney channel for a little
Freeform.
while.
Was it
Freeform.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
which was
why
like
it did
That the Runaways.
It was ABC
Right.
Family, then it was Disney Family, then it became Freeform.
Yeah.
Yes. MVP.
I gave it to Cal Dodd and Allison Seeley Smith, the voices of Wolverine and Storm, respectively. They still got it, and their voices were so impactful on those characters. Like, I mean, you got to remember that show was the first time you had a living, breathing Wolverine.
Yep.
And I feel like Wolverine wasn't as popular until that show hit, and that like
helped,
his
for sure.
his whole like the bub and her voice, her accent, the way that she her
Magnanimous.
gravitas,
Yeah.
right?
The way she carries herself.
bubble.
Right. She, I mean, and I think she's a classically trained like a theater actress, so I think that's why. But they're awesome. It had really been the first time the character. Well, no, that's what I just fucking said. Never mind. And character wise, I'd give it
Show's long enough.
Character wise, I'd give it to Gambit. So
Great.
Nice.
You got MVP?
Nope.
Fuck that motherfucker.
Charles's wheelchair.
Fuck all of them mutants.
Fuck all them mutants. I got Gambit. He's my
Yeah.
favorite X-Men, and his episode was fucking heartbreaking. And then the
was.
episode leading into it, I absolutely was devastated. So hopefully he comes back.
I'm going to give it to the writers. Very, very difficult to come back with a show and put its most popular character on the back burner, which is Wolverine, who I absolutely love. But it had to be kind of a task to make the other characters as interesting, if
Right.
not more interesting at times. And I think overall the writers pulled it off.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Good call.
I agree.
And
X-Men 97.
That's X-Men.
That's
97?
X-Men 97. We all recommend it?
Yeah.
I recommend
Absolutely.
it. All right.
Absolutely. See it twice.
Check it out. See it twice.
See it thrice.
See it X number of times. What's making our geek flag fly?
Multiple man times. Well, a few things. I saw Inside Out 2, which was really good and did what Pixar does. So
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
You won't like it.
Yeah, what did they massacre all the voices?
No, just it's
Riley's parents died in a bizarre hockey accident.
Yeah. Did they all get cancer?
They got run over by
They
a
just
Zamboni.
got cancer.
No,
Who's this new character in the head? He doesn't look like us. Oh, I'm brain tumor.
Oh, he's
I'm
anxiety.
slowly killing this child. That seems like something Pixar would
It's not
do.
a tumor.
I'm Tommy the tumor. Hey, doesn't matter what you guys do.
Other than that, I finally actually watched some shows you guys had recommended. I watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
Really
Oh,
dug
the
it.
Donald Glover one.
Yeah, I really liked it. He was awesome in it, and I like the girl. She's really good. And I watched the first He-Man one, the
Revelations. Yeah.
I liked it. Didn't like her. I'm glad that
Oh,
they
the
changed.
voice.
I'm glad they changed up the voice for the second one.
Sarah
I
Michelle
haven't
Gellar.
started the second one yet, but yeah, Sarah Michelle was fucking terrible.
Supergirl does a better job.
Yeah, I agree.
Her
Is that
voice was just
She-Ra?
grating.
You didn't
Tila.
like?
No, she was Tila.
Oh,
She's
Tila.
Yeah. But I love awesome. Rest of the cast was awesome.
Dude, it just gets better.
Well, and I watched the preview for the second season, so I'm really looking forward to that one. That one looks really good, and I know you guys have raved about it, so
Rave.
looking forward to it.
Cool. Yeah, I checked out the first 3 episodes of The Boys on Amazon Prime.
Season 5?
Yeah,
Season
came out.
4. Season
Season
4
4.
just dropped on Friday. Amazon dropped 3 episodes so far, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're awesome. I love this show, and I'm disappointed that they just announced that next season's episode 5 is going to be
Season
the last.
5's the last, yeah.
So
He said he
enjoy
always
it
knew
while
how
we
it was
got
gonna
it,
wrap
boys.
up, though, which at least is nice. He knows how
At least
to
he's
end
wrapping
Yeah.
it up.
He wants to end it,
Let's just
yeah.
be thankful a show got wrapped up. Very rare.
True.
Right.
Very true. But yeah, it's still firing on all cylinders. It's awesome. Gory, funny, sadistic, and just action packed.
I can't wait to see it. But again, waiting
Yeah,
for all of them.
same. No, I want to watch. That's one of the few shows that Mary will watch with me because she actually really likes that show too. I saw Eric over the weekend. It's with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
It's fucking
I
amazing.
wanted to see it.
It's
It
so
looks
good.
Is it good?
Very
It's like-
compelling.
It looks weird.
It is and it isn't.
Did the trailer make it look weirder than it is?
No, the trailer made me. I was like, damn, I got to see this show. I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck it is. It's about Benedict Cumberbatch and his wife, played by Gabby Hoffman.
Oh wow.
Who,
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
Wow,
Blast from the
now
Past.
and then's Gabby
Yeah.
Hoffman?
Their son goes missing. Benedict Cumberbatch is a Jim Henson,
Yeah, puppeteer.
essentially,
Yeah.
and his son has created a character, and he thinks if he can make this character for the show, his son will come home because he's convinced the son ran away. And he starts to lose his mind, and the character comes to life in his head and starts talking to him.
Awesome.
And is trying to help him find the son.
It's a creepy looking puppet.
It's
too.
a big monster,
Yeah.
and the puppet is called Eric. That's what the kid names the monster. He names it Eric, and he thinks he'll come visit. He'll come back home if he sees Eric on TV, and it turns into this fucking insane. It all kind of takes place in the neighborhood. There are all these other characters. Dan Fogler's in it too. He plays one of the showrunners with him.
I love that guy.
It's not a comedy, but the stuff with Cumberbatch and Eric is fucking hysterical. Cumberbatch does the voice of Eric also.
Nice.
And he does this like very gruff, like monstery voice. It's really, really good. It's really awesome. And it has such a fucking awesome resolution. It was one of the first shows I've seen in a long time. And I was like, man, I'm so fucking happy at the end of this show.
It's funny you say
Everything
that,
was
'cause it
wrapped up
reminded me of
so
that.
nice.
It
Yeah,
reminded
I
me of
never
that
saw
show,
that, but I
Happy,
always wanted to. Yeah.
With Maloney there, where he had
Chris
Maloney.
Yeah, and Patton Oswalt played his daughter's imaginary friend.
Right.
And he's all fucked up, and something happens to his daughter, and the two of them have to team up to
Right.
rescue her from a sadistic Santa Claus.
Yeah, I never saw that, but I
It's
always wanted to.
brilliant. It's funny, and that's what this Eric reminded
It's
me of
good.
when I
It's
saw
a
the ad.
miniseries. It ends at 6 episodes.
What network
and
is playing it, Tito?
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's, I don't know. I knocked it out. It's
Cool.
fucking awesome. Check it out.
Awesome.
I do want to see it.
I will then.
I finally saw Abigail. Loved it.
Oh, you hadn't seen it yet?
I had not seen it
Oh,
yet.
good.
It is. I watched it with Sarah, and we both loved it. It was such a good film.
Cool.
Such a fun horror film.
It wasn't it?
It's just so refreshing to see some
And what-
good.
and what a
horror
great
films
cast,
again.
too.
Excellent cast.
Yeah.
The actress who plays Abigail
Isn't she
is
great?
fantastic. Lisa Frankenstein's in it. I
Yeah.
love that. I love
Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The that's the muscle guy,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's
with a
Blob.
French accent.
Was he in The Strain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I know him
silly
from.
fat.
Yeah, I thought he was
Stragoi.
Giancarlo Esposito. I loved everybody in it. I loved again. Abigail was fantastic.
Yeah.
The movie is great.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then in the end, her dad is the dude from Watchmen.
We did not know who is that. It was Ozymandias.
Ozymandias.
Yeah.
That's where I knew him from.
Oh, from the film.
Right.
Oh, yeah. From the film
Because
Watchmen. Yeah,
they
yeah.
were making it out to be a big reveal of an actor, and Sarah and I were both like, "Wait, we don't know
Who is this guy?
I thought it was. Yeah,
I did the same thing.
Yeah, that's a film that I would like to see an expanded world
Yeah.
based around.
Oh, and I'm sure we will.
Oh man.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
It was a
they
hit.
definitely leave it open for, like, what's this dude got going on?
They
behind
do.
the scenes.
They do, and the MVP goes to that little girl. She's
Yeah,
a
she was
phenomenal
great.
actress.
She was. She was
Yep.
really good.
But yeah, that's mine.
Nice.
Awesome geek flags. You know, we have many geek flags, and we've talked Marvel well into the past. In fact, our first episode ever was about Marvel. So if you want to go back and see if opinions have changed, or if, you know, things haven't, or what we love now that we didn't like, whatever. Hey, where can they go, Brian?
Hey, Mark, they can go to www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.
The number 3.
gdpodcast.com. And as Mark said, you'll be able to find all of our past episodes there, along with one-click buttons where you can easily subscribe to us. If you're not already a subscriber, we encourage you to hit one of those buttons to the podcast platform of your choice so you will never miss an upcoming episode. Most importantly, though, at the website or wherever you can rate podcasts, we encourage you to leave a 5-star rating and a review. It not only goes a long, long way to help push our little show further forward from the rest of the podcasting pack, but it makes it easier for other people to find great geeky content like ours while they're searching. And we also have a Ko-fi page, which can also be linked. You can also find the link at our website. Ko-fi page is where you can make a small donation, a large donation, or anything you think is reasonable. If you like us, please help keep the show going, because as we say, podcasting is not cheap. And all of our social media presences are also linked to the website. We can be found at Facebook, Twitter, now X, Instagram, and the audio portion of our show can be found on YouTube as well. I think that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to say out there, everybody, thank you so much for listening. And back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, boys. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Three Geeky Dads. Until next time, this is Mark.
This is Derek.
This is Brian.
This is Tito.
Saying good night and keep watching the skies, because it's raining mutants.
It's raining mutants.
Hallelujah.
There's an asteroid coming down on your head.
All right. Excellent show.
You're killing me, Smalls.
You're killing me, Smalls. Remember him in Bad Blood, that X-Files episode?
Oh, the
vampire
vampire
who
one.
wants to be a vampire.
Oh, that's right. He's the kid that gets
it's
killed.
one of the
the
best
Wilson
episodes.
brother, Luke.
Luke
Wilson.
Luke.
All right, so which one do you guys like? Do you
Don't
like the
give it
second
the
one?
The
or-
teeth.
Do you
Oh,
like-
all with the
I like
teeth.
The Aurora one was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I kinda like that one.
Okay. I
How
like
about
it.
you, Brian?
Yeah.
Which one did you like?
He's not impressed by either.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm with you
on.
fellers.
I didn't even Google. I just, you know. he's-
You know I'm not a fan of Scooby-Doo to begin
I
with.
know.
so-
And yet you do a great
I do.
impression.
I
Scooby-Doo's
know.
the fucking best.
Scooby-Doo, where are you? Scooby?
That's my Scooby-Doo impersonation.
It's pretty good. It's pretty
It
good.
was good, right?
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Raggy.
Scooby-Doo needs a helmet.
Raggy.
Raggy?
Scooby-Doo in the short bus.
Short
Oh,
van.
Scooby-Dumb.
Scooby-Dumb.
Remember
That's
Scooby-Dumb?
right.
He
There
had the
was
cool hat.
Scooby-Dumb.
Wait, what?
Remember Scooby-Dumb?
No,
It
I
was
thought you
gray,
were-
yeah.
Scooby-Dumb
Yeah.
was...
It was a cousin.
That was
I
his
think.
name? Scooby-Dumb?
Scooby-Dumb.
Scooby-Dumb.
There was a girl, too.
There was a girl.
I
I
that
can't
girl.
remember the name.
I remember Scrappy-Doo, who I fucking hated.
Everybody hated fucking Scrappy.
And then Scooby-Dum came out like shortly after. And
I
was
just,
like,
I
I'm
remember
done.
him. He had that little hat, too, right?
Had a hat.
Yeah, I never-
he had the
I never
goofy
knew his
laugh.
name.
He was gray. He was like a blue-gray.
Yeah.
color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never knew the name.
Yeah.
Scooby-Dumb.
Scooby-Dum.
All right.
And the Haunted Short Bus.
Wow.
Scooby-Dumb. Scooby-D. She was a
Scooby-D
white-
was the
she
girl?
white.
D.
Scrappy-Doo.
Scooby-D had a wife?
No, he was
No,
white.
she was white. She was a
Oh, she
white,
was white.
whatever he is.
Great Dane.
Great Dane. There you go.
Oh. And then Scrappy-Doo.
Ruby Doo.
Ruby Doo.
I've never seen a
That was
brown
from a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Great Dane.
Oh, right.
In real life.
I don't think they exist.
You never seen like a puppy Great Dane? Is that what you said?
No,
Or a
I've never
brown
seen
one.
I've never seen a brown Great Dane. I've only seen like black or
I
that
thought
gray
you
like
said
Scooby
you've
Doo.
never seen a Great Dane.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool too.
I've seen a Great Dane.
All right,
That
you guys,
they like
you ready?
horses. Yeah, let's do it.
Today was a Great
Let's
Dane.
do this.
Gonna have a good day. Hey guys, who's Scooby Doo's favorite X-Man?
It's just a
Killer
great show.
Tofu.
Oh, that was the name of
just like his mind and- Yeah, I guess it'd be cool if he became like a.
And I need more allowance.
Him, accept it.
I got it. Actually, this is the insurance.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's the insurance guy.
It's
He
the
wants.
insurance. That's right.
He wants to fix Brian's
He
car.
wants to be a guest star on the show.
Hurry up! You missed him.
I did miss him, motherfucker.
You son of a gun. He was trying to
That's
FaceTime
okay.
you.
Yeah.
He wants to see your face. He wanted to look you in the eyes when he was like, "What really happened that day?"
Yeah.
You want to call him back?
No,
Yeah,
You can call.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah,
dude,
it's your
seriously.
fucking car, man.
Yeah,
Come
man.
on.
I'm just gonna sing "Need More Allowance."
These are your mics, dude. If you want to take a call, take a call.
Seriously.
I'll just sit here.
I kind of want to sing more.
Because I do.
Killer tofu. I eat my sugar. It isn't.
It's not.
It isn't.
It's not.
It isn't.
It's not.
It isn't.
It's not.
Brain fart. Total brain fart.